Hey, how's it going? Remember me? I'm the one who lost me, baby. No, it's a crazy song from the old days. How you doing? It's Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House, I think, over in Japan. I'm still here. I'm still alive. The rumours of my decease, my death, have been greatly exaggerated. Although I did nearly stay in Osaka. I met some really sexy robot girls at the cosplay, in the Osaka Comic Con. And what can I say? I'll send you photos if you let me know. Just send me a private message, okay? And drop like 10,000 yen with it. We'll see how it goes. I can't believe there's anybody here. I was setting this up and getting ready to go live, and it's like, guess what? Gray, welcome back to YouTube. 0 people waiting to watch. Nosferatu's here. He just got an ad for a Japanese clothing brand. Okay. And we got, no, I've not hit the big time. Big time? What's that? I can't believe it. Flaccid Phoenix. He's one of the people who never watches my channel. No, I'm joking. Great to see you, mate. How you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're Genki. Oh, interesting. Flaccid saying he really liked this movie. Okay. No way. I always think it's only me who's looking at positives, Flaccid. Me with the positive takes, but I might surprise you with my take on this. And Nosferatu, oh my god, look at this silver fox. I'll tell you what it is, mate. It's this overhead light, and me hair dye's run out. That's what it is. So, yeah, showing my age. Oh, welcome to the Stream Elements bot. Did you miss me? Actually, if you look closely at that, at the end of the message, that looks a bit like that robot girl's face that I kind of fell for at the Comic Con. Anyway, so, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? That is the question. Are you interested in seeing it? I've had a quick scan through reviews, and I've heard from people I watch on YouTube and some friends, and it's pretty mixed, isn't it, as usual? People are saying it's the best out of the Phase 4 Marvel movies, but come on, that's not very difficult, is it? Because they've absolutely been stinkers pretty much all the way through. Although, I do have a soft spot for Mom. Don't clip that. For, was it Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange one? Or should I say the WandaVision movie with America Chavez? Yeah. I quite like that. I like the Sam Raimi parts, but I think it got cut to ribbons. I think it was kind of, a studio production with a little bit of Sam Raimi, but that's just my opinion. Didn't like Shang-Chi because I've read the comic. I've got the original Master of Kung Fu, the deadly hands of Shang-Chi, I should say. There's a collection behind me over there, but I wish they'd done that. Imagine if Tarantino did a sort of 70s set spy kung fu thriller, James Bond style movie, pulpy as hell. That would have been awesome. What did they do? They gave us Kim's Convenience and Aquafina. Anyway, let me get back to you guys. Faint praise but true, says Flaccid. So you're saying his opinion doesn't mean much, says Nosferatu. My opinion? Flaccid's opinion? Hey, who cares what I say? I don't. DAD over MOM. DAD. Dungeons and Dragons is that, Flaccid. I'll tell you, if we're going to focus on Marvel movies, I'm trying to think what could DAD be? I didn't even finish Wakanda Forever. I thought it was kind of okay in parts, but it was just boring, so I can't really rate that one. What else did they have? I didn't even watch the Ant-Man. Did you? Did anyone watch Ant-Man 3? That's supposed to be a bit of a mess too. But yeah, going back to this movie, I think this is the most entertaining and the most fun. And the most important thing is it has good characters in it. Remember those? Probably because it's James Gunn, isn't it? No matter what you think of him, he can write and he can direct. Although, as I say, it's not a great movie. There are a lot of flaws in here, but it's me, so I'm focusing on positives. But yeah, I would say the characters and the acting mostly was really good. Yeah, it's played for laughs, but this one actually, I would say it's the most moving out of the 3 Guardians movies. And I rewatched Guardians 2 because I'm not a big fan of that. I rewatched that after I saw this one, the new one. And yeah, I don't think that holds up at all. Again, there are good things in it, but I think this is better than 2. But of course, not as good as the first one. Hey, how you doing? Gap After Dark. Great to see you. What's up? Did you watch Guardians, mate? Let me know in the chat what you thought of it. Ant-Man was horrible, Flaccid, wasn't it? Yeah, I've seen clips, that's all. And it just looked like a crazy kind of CGI ayahuasca mix-up of a nightmare kind of thing going on there. and Ant-Man was sidelined in his own movie because he's really good, isn't he? God, I'll get stream brain, so I can't remember the name of the actor off the top of my head. But the character's Scott Lang. I really like the guy who plays him. He's got charisma. And it's a shame they didn't make an Ant-Man movie. That's what I've heard. Chris Pratt in this one, in Guardians, no matter what you think of him, and I think he's very cool, he's got charisma. He's got personality. So he pulls you in, and he's very charming. He's got that. There's good rapport with the different characters. Who else is good in this? I'm a bit of a simp for Mantis. Come on, it's me, isn't it? What do you expect? There's something about her. I really like her. I loved her in the holiday special. That was really fun. And I don't mind Drax. People say he gets a bit annoying with his ha ha ha. He's laughing all the time, but he was good. Nebula, Karen Gillan is fantastic, but she's in it only a little bit. I'd like to have seen more of her, if you know what I mean. They made her look very masculine in this, kind of flattened her chest. Don't know what's going on there. Because that was interesting, going back to the second movie. She looks like a female, whatever, robot or android or whatever. What is she kind of? She's kind of grafted, isn't she? She's had cybernetically updated or like tortured basically by Thanos, by her father. But she's a mix of whatever race she is. I don't think she's human and, cybernetics. But back in the first... Is she in the first movie? Anyway, back in the second movie, she looks good. She looks pretty hot. In this one, they just made her look like, I don't know, what's the word? Non-binary. God, I hate that word. Gap After Dark. I don't go to the movie theatre, so I'll have to wait. Okay, mate. Well, I've got a confession to make. Disney, as I say, it's not Marvel, it's Disney. Disney haven't got any of my money for this because they were only showing the Japanese dubbed version in my local theatre. And at the times I wanted to go, the late showing, the evening show. For some reason, though, they're showing the English version during the day, when everyone's working, and the Japanese dub at night. So I really wanted to see it because I like to see it on a big screen. And it's going to look good. No matter how bad CG seems to have gone these days, I think this one holds up compared to a lot of the other Marvel movies lately. The CG on this is pretty good. But yeah, what was I saying? So I couldn't see the English one, and yeah, I can understand the Japanese enough, but it's not the same. You want the characters, you want the actors' voices, don't you? You want that connection to them, and the emotions come through more when it's the original voices. So I saw it by other means, but I am going to go see it when I can see the English version at a time, when I'm not at work. But I wonder how long it will be out in theatres over here. I get the feeling it's not doing that well. Flaccid saying to Nosferatu, I don't want to overhype it, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was better than 2. I think so. I agree, Flaccid. I think it was much better. It does have some pacing and editing issues. Yeah, it does. You're right. But overall, I liked it. It was fun, wasn't it? It was really fun. And at times quite emotional, quite moving. Yeah, you could argue that they kind of play that up. They're really tugging on the old heartstrings, like Midnight Diner, Nosferatu, or a Japanese emotional movie. They love doing that. You could argue that I saw a great comment on one of the reviews, one of the critics' reviews, saying it was like a Spotify playlist with a kind of movie attached to it. They really do go overboard with the music and the songs in this. It's almost like... It's not every scene, but it does feel like almost every other scene or every third scene there's a tune playing. And they are good. They are good, apart from, I will say, the opening track, which is Creep by Creep by Weirdo. Remember Creep by Weirdo? Yeah, whatever. Creep by Radiohead. And it's a weird version of it. Of course, it's the clean version, because, they can't say the F word. But... it sounds like almost like a demo version, and to me it didn't sound good. But don't forget, I wasn't hearing it with a good sound system. I was hearing it through earbuds and headphones on a 7Cs version. Nosferatu, I recommend it, mate. Give it a shot, because no matter what you think, and it is a little bit too long, you do miss it's not really a full Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because there's a huge focus on Rocket. If you like Rocket Raccoon, he's great in this, and his backstory is really good and very touching, very moving. But I wanted to see more of the other characters. Yeah, I want to see more of the actual Guardians interacting. But yeah, I recommend it. Give it a shot, especially for some of there's a crazy, brilliant what do you call it? What's heavy metal in French? The original. Oh, I can't remember the words. But, like a really good French graphic novel, a comic, some scenes like Mobius, those kind of scenes. This crazy scene in the kind of near the middle where they have to go and they've got to go here to get this. It's like a D&D adventure or a game. They go into this weird place called, I'm going to have to look it up, Orgo. The Orgo something. Give me a sec. Oh my God. But it's all made out of like organic matter. And they've got these people wearing these huge kind of bubbly space suits or uniforms. They look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters or that kind of thing. There's a bit of a Fifth Element, crazy French sci-fi vibes to this scene. But I think it's awesome. It's really good. It's like, where else would you see that in a modern movie? It's so much better than what I saw of the Ant-Man Quadrophenia Nightmare. So much better than the little bit I saw of Wakanda Forever, the CG in there, where they went underwater. This is really good. Yeah, great scene. Funny. There's some really good fight scenes in here. Really good fight scenes. I say I'm a bit all over the place with my review because I've only seen it the once. I watched it last night. Had a couple of glasses of wine. So, Okay, I've got it here. They travel to what's called the Orgo Corp. The Orgo Corps. So the Orgo Corp's headquarters to find this. They've got to find, just say whatever you want to call it, find some kind of code to help out Rocket Raccoon. I'm not giving major spoilers, but you'll probably know this is about Rocket Raccoon gets injured and it's basically just Star-Lord, Chris Pratt's character, wanting to help his friend. That's it. That's the story. He wants to help Rocket, doesn't want him to die. And the team come together to help because they all care about, Star-Lord. They care about each other. They become a kind of Fast and Furious family. Hey, family's everything. That kind of thing. So that's the basic plot. Let me have a quick scroll down. Oh, shall I get back to you guys? Okay, Flaccid's saying Adam Warlock was the worst part. Yeah, I know the character Flacid from the comics. Not that well, but I know he's kind of like a space David Bowie. He's pretty cool. He's really powerful in the comics, but he starts off really well in this. When you first see him, he's right near the beginning. He comes into it, and you're like, Jesus, who's this guy? He's powerful. He's knocking everybody out. He's taking all the weaponry he's taking all the weapons they're firing at him, and he's fighting back. He's scary, and you get this feeling like, whoa, they're in trouble. But then later on, I think they drop the ball with his character development. They make it out that he's a baby in a kind of man's form, but he's only recently been either made, created, or born, whatever you want to call it. And it just goes a bit daft later on. But his introduction's cool. He's after Rocket. He wants Rocket for somebody else, and he just comes flying in out of nowhere. And the different Guardians all band together to try and to defeat him, to attack him, to get rid of him, and they seem to be fighting him well, and then next minute he's like, whoa, he's just standing up and walking, and he's punching them, he's giving them serious damage. I'm not even sure what the rating of this movie is, but I tell you what, it's close for the violence. It's close to being what's the one after a PG. Seriously, there are some pretty, not horrific, what's the word, brutal scenes, really good, fight scenes that feel physical. There are a few little gruesome scenes later on, especially near the end. Again, no spoilers. And with the whole Rocket's past, Rocket Raccoon, and the animal experimentation storyline, Jesus, that's pretty creepy at times. If you had a young child watching this, I'm sure they wouldn't be happy about the animals with the cybernetic additions to the body parts, or kind of weird. But again, I think it's done well. But yeah, they do really play that up. They really pull on your heartstrings. Nosradu, as a non-binary Chinese dragon, I just unsubscribed. Reported your channel. Oh, dear me. What does non-binary, what does that even mean? Binary means 1 and 0, isn't it? 2. What's the opposite of binary? I don't even know the word. Single, just one. instead of a 1 and 0, you've got a 1, or you're just a 0. Crazy. Nos, you're not a diehard comic nerd, but isn't Adam Warlock a top 5 OP character? Again, I'm not that clued up on him. I've only seen him briefly in some of the old like back issues I got from 70s Marvel comics, so I don't know him very well. But he's very overpowered. He's crazy overpowered. What the hell are we doing here? I don't belong here. Yeah, right. You'd never jump on. I don't believe you. Look at him. Flaccid, if you're still there. Nosferatu is teasing me saying, send me a link. I sent Zaxx a link because, Zaxx is Zaxx and I love Zaxx. I don't even know if he's seen the movie. That doesn't matter, but he's always welcome on here. But I was going to just do this as a solo. But Flaccid, if you want to jump on. And Nos, of course you're always welcome, mate. I'll send you a link, but you'll laugh in my face. You'll send me a photo of you like burning the link with a cigarette slowly, won't you? That's what you'll do. Have you seen Nosferatu is asking Flaccid, have you seen him in that Uncharted fan film? He is Nathan Drake. Okay, no worries. I haven't seen it. Gray wanted to be NC-17 or PG-12. In the UK we have a 15. I think there's weird ratings in the UK. I don't know if it's changed now. It used to be like Universal, then there was a PG, then they had a 12 for a while. I don't know if the 12 got kind of combined with PG, and then there's a 15 and an 18, and then I don't know if they still have the X. Okay, no worries, Flaccid, that's fine. Zaxx, I say you're welcome, mate. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you're welcome to jump on. I'm just doing a bit of a wakizashi waffle, just letting you know that I enjoyed the movie. It's not terrific, but it's certainly a lot better than a lot of the crap we've had recently. And as I was saying earlier, it's mainly down to the characters. The characters are really good, and the actors playing parts they're comfortable with. You know what I mean? They've been doing it for goodness knows how long. Was the first movie was it 2014? Because I rewatched 2, as I say, early this morning, and that was 2017. That's 8 years ago now. Jesus. So I think the first one might have been 14, and they were in Endgame too, weren't they? Right, it's time for a clip. I tell you, I can't stop thinking about Mantis. So this is not from the new movie, of course. This is from Guardians 2, brief clip. This is near her first introduction, and it's her and Drax.
I am Mantis.
What are you doing?
Smiling.
That's like one of my smiles when I'm having a drinking stream, isn't it? What do you reckon? Okay, Nosferatu wants the link to Jack Sparrow and the Seven Seas. Okay, gotcha. Will do, mate. And Nosferatu is saying, I'm always reticent. Ooh, look at you with the big words. I'm always reticent when I hear this is good because everything else is crap. Well, a lot of people are saying that, Nos. I know, yeah. There's a lot of people out there saying it, but I liked it. I liked it because it was fun. I liked the sci-fi space, almost French style scenes, which are good in there. I like the characters' banter. The humour's not as over the top as it was in 2. Because I say I rewatched 2 and that was just all the time it seemed to be. But again, there are flaws. It's overlong. They felt like they tried to put too much in it, especially near the end. You suddenly get this new plot thread or plot lines dropped in right near the end. You're like, wait a minute, you didn't need to do that at all. And I wish there was more time spent with the individual characters outside of Rocket, but it's basically Rocket's story. I see a Jack Kirby book back there, says Gap, After Dark. It's a cracker. That's the one by, oh my god, what's his first name? Jesus, Scioli. I can see the right Scioli. He does a really cool Jack Kirby life story. It's biographical, and he's done it. His style is really cute. It's kind of what do you call it? It looks almost like pencil crayon drawing style, but it's really good and it's really interesting. I learned a lot about Jack Kirby from that. Recommend it. I also have you can't quite see it, but there's a new Jack Kirby's New Gods collection just here behind Gunslinger Spawn. The New Gods is out there. New Gods is crazy. Yeah, it is cool, Gap. I recommend it. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. I can't remember the artist's name. Sorry, but he writes and draws it, and it's just called Jack Kirby, and it's very, very cool. Nosferatu is asking me to turn my camera to the right so we can see the hentai stack. No, I keep that upstairs in a closet, in a cupboard, with Mrs. Wakazashi. She's next door. She's going to kill me later. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry I'm all over the place. Let me have a look at some of the... I want to share some of the reviews. Here we go. I don't go to Rotten Tomatoes because I'm British. I don't go to Rotten Tomatoes. I check IMDb for user reviews, and I check Metacritic. Let's have a look at some of the reviews on there, some of the latest ones. Just bear with me. So go back to the top, if that's showing. You've got an average score of 64% from the critics. That's from 62 different critic reviews. Again, I don't hold much in critics in inverted commas. And the user score, as you can see, is a 7.7 out of 10, so 77%. So let's have a look at some of the more recent ones. And I'll show both sides. I'll show the negative and the positive. The first one here from the critics is AV Club, whatever. It's not just a film, it's a blaze of glory, and that sense of daring is both the best thing about Volume 3 and occasionally the worst. There you go. And scroll down to a medium one. Little White Lies giving it 60, saying, for all his puerile instincts, Gunn is able to create stakes in this film that feel real and meaningful. Oh, that's a good point. There are stakes in this, and you do actually feel it. You know, you're thinking, oh my God, this character's going to die, or maybe they're going to die, and you do feel it for a Rocket. It's done well. Perhaps because of the care that's gone into fleshing out this group of characters over the course of 3 films and all their supplementary appearances. And then down at the bottom, you've got a 25 from the Chicago Tribune. The full-on assault on the audience's tear ducts in much of Guardians 3 may be sincere, but the rhythms and the pacing of the film never find the beat. We end up waiting for the reductive punchline or for another round of wanton slaughter. Yeah, it's not completely, you know, it's not a false review there. He's bringing up pertinent points. PPPP. Okay, let's look at the user ones. These are just the top ones, the recent ones. You've got someone saying it's 10 out of 10 here. My favourite Guardians movie by far because it did what we actually wanted from the MCU. Another one, the best movie in the Guardians trilogy. Top 3 for me from MCU. Wow, that is overly praising it. An incredibly dramatic story filled with many wonderful characters with fantastic chemistry. Great music, cool visuals, incredible space scenes. And he's put, he or she, I cried 5 times. Come on, mate, really? The music is good, but as I say, it's kind of overused. It just does feel like you've gone into a music video sometimes. The visuals, I agree with. There are some great visuals in this, some really good space scenes, some great scenes in that weird organic base that they go in and infiltrate. Yeah, pretty cool. And some like quite creepy, disturbing, almost verging on horror. Nosferatu, if you're still there. There's otter horror in this movie. Whatever you do, don't watch it. You'll be crying, you'll be screaming for is it Kotaru? Kotaru! Let me go down to some of the bottom ones. Okay, there's an average one here from the user. Easy to watch movie that won't offend you. And then they put in brackets, Chris Pratt might. Really? I thought Chris Pratt was good. It won't impress you either. The few great or touching moments don't really change the fact that the movie feels like a bunch of Marvel's scrapped ideas tethered together for a movie that shouldn't be taken seriously. Wow. Okay. I see you, baby. Shaking that out. Oh my God, yeah, no, it's otter horror. It verges on it. It's like the remade. Do you know what the remade are? It's kind of a weird mixture of animals with cybernetic parts, which don't seem to make sense. Yeah, there's this. The Big Badness movie has been experimenting on animals, and that's a point I haven't brought up yet. The Big Bad, the villain. They've actually got a good villain, a decent villain. There's a villain that you learn to hate. You actually start, you really start hating him. He's great in the part. It's an actor with a fantastic name, which I'll probably butcher, but I think he's called Chukwudi Iwuji. There we go, I tried to say it. And his character name, which I didn't know, is called the High Evolutionary. High Evolutionary. But he's great in this. He's good. You know, he's like a real boo-hiss villain. He's not out for conquering the world or the universe. He just wants things for really selfish reasons. What's it saying here? In the write-up it says, he's a scientist who sought to enhance and anthropomorphize animal life forms. Basically, he's creating a counter-Earth, another Earth, and he peoples it with these weird animal hybrids. Rocket befriends the High Evolutionary's other test subjects, the otter Kotaru. No, I'm joking. The otter Lila. There's a walrus called Paul. Oh no, that's the Beatles, isn't it? Walrus is called Teefs. And there's a rabbit, a really weird rabbit with a freaky kind of black visor on its face called Floor for some reason. There we go. Oh, cool. Zaxx is going to jump in. That's great. Oh, nice one, mate. I thought it was just going to be me going on a bit of a wacky-zachy waffle, but great to see you in the chat, everybody. Zaxx, Nosferatu, Gap, Flaccid still here. Can't believe it. ICT, Vinny, great to see you. Did he die in the movie? No spoilers from me. Who are you talking about? Gray? No. Zaxx? No. There are deaths in the movie, but I'm not going to reveal who they are. It's only been out. Has it been out for 1 or 2 weeks? It's not been out that long, has it? As I say, it came out when I went to Osaka for the Comic Con. Osaka Comic Con, it was great. It was really good. I had a great time. Completely wrecked me, knackered, so tired. I was helping working for a friend, Ginger Ninja. He had a booth there. He was doing art commissions. He had a really successful con, which I'm very happy about. I tried not to get too distracted by the sexy robot girls. Losing game, isn't it, with me? But yeah, it was really good. So I missed it when it came out. I came back and I was straight back to work. Had a really busy week. As I say, they're not showing the English version in my local cinema, which is tiny anyway. So that's probably why. They're only showing it during the day. So I don't want to watch the Japanese dub. Although I'm kind of curious how they'll do the voices. You know what I mean? Nosferatu saying he wants to play Superman 64 with Flaccid. And Flaccid replies with, I'd rather play the E.T. game. Yeah, if you can find the landfill, mate, where they're all buried. Good luck with that. Actually, it could be Mount Fuji. Is that what Mount Fuji is? It's E.T. cartridges from the old... Was it the... Oh my God, I'm forgetting the name. The Atari console. What was it called? Atari. When I say Atari, I want to say the Atari ST. Showing my age. Nosferatu, Ginger Ninja owns multiple islands. How did you know that? How did you know? It's true. Okay. Let me drop another clip. Time for another clip. We have another Mantis clip because Gray loves Mantis.
Can I pet your puppy?
Yes.
Wow. Could watch Mantis all day. Have you seen the holiday special? I did a review of that back before Christmas, and I really enjoyed it, although I got a lot of criticism for that from certain people, like saying, Gray, your taste sucks. Hey, it's my taste, what can I do? I really enjoyed it. It really got me. It got me in the Christmas spirit. You guys laughing in the chat at each other. Okay, where are we? Keep me out for Zaxx while I'm doing that. I've forgotten to check the live stream. Here we go. Everything's looking good. Can't believe it. There's like... YouTube's telling me there's 13 people watching. That's amazing. Great to see you. What are you doing here? I've got something to show you. This is going off track a little bit, but where are we? Over here. I got a bargain. I got a couple of comics from the Comic Con. There weren't many there, believe it or not, at a Comic Con. They only have a few American comics, but I picked up this for 500 yen. It's like $4 or something. It's an old She-Spawn figure, a really old one, and I think it's all in Spanish as well. Oh, it's so cool. Is it coming into focus? If I hide behind it, how about that? 500 yen! How cool is that? It's not even opened. I like the skulls on the boobies. There, can you see? That's why I got it, but I'm not sure about the bald head. She looks a bit like Nebula. Anyway, we have a wild Canadian in the studio. Hang on a sec. Hold that there. I feel like I've not seen Zaxx for ages. Missed you, man. Really missed you. I missed everybody while I was in Osaka. Okay, let me bring Zaxx in.
Hello.
Hey, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Good, how are you?
I'm feeling much more genki now after doing this and seeing so many cool people in the chat, including you. I'm not talking about Flaccid, though.
No, don't talk about Flaccid. His ego's already too big.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie, Zaxx?
No. Well,
No.
But I'm ready to review it, Gray.
Good. I know you're always ready to review. I wasn't going to bother, mate, because I'd heard it was like, and I'm kind of out of Marvel movies, but I enjoyed it. There's a lot of good in here.
I think it was probably the second best of the Guardians movies. Definitely the best movie from Marvel that's come out since, well, before Black Widow, for sure. And better than anything that Marvel's done on TV. And I guess Miss Marvel was fine. Or I would give Miss Marvel a 6.5, even though I haven't seen it either. But I've heard it's good for the audience it's going for. But this one, I think this one is special because you know it's his last one. So you're going in expecting it to kind of be a downer. And there's down parts to this film, but I think that the parts that lift you up are worth the ride. And I wanted to know so much more about Rocket Raccoon. There's a raccoon, and I knew nothing about him. And now I know all about him, and I know how he was tortured, and animal torture is bad. Adam Warlock was not as cringe as I expected him to be from the trailer. But no need for him to be in the movie. Still, no, I don't think
there wasn't.
I'm good at this, hey. Also,
you're really good. You sound like you've seen it.
Yeah,
you've seen this, Zaxx.
Yeah, no, I have not seen it. The soundtrack is good. I think nothing tops the first movie soundtrack wise for me.
No,
but I think it was still a fun soundtrack and a good film, and I'd give it a 7.
ICT Vinny asking, wait, how are you going to review this if you haven't seen it yet?
I just did.
Vinny also said, that's an awesome figure. I'm sure they're talking about you, baby. It's all about you.
Jana's here. Hey, Jana.
Yeah, tell you what, Zaxx, you sound like you've seen it because that pretty much sums it up. It's a great focus. Well, it is a big focus on Rocket. You get Rocket's backstory. I don't know whether that was a good thing or not because it's almost like they told, keeping it a mystery might have worked better. What do you reckon?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that I cared about Rocket Raccoon until I saw this movie, or didn't see this movie. Until I heard people talk about this movie, I didn't know that I cared and need to know more about him. But I think now I do. I thought they worked Gamora back into it in a plausible way. Is that close?
Yeah. No spoilers there because everyone knows that she's in it. It's weird. It's like I didn't even quite get it, Zaxx. It's a Gamora from the past who came back somehow and didn't meet the Guardians, didn't meet Star-Lord, so doesn't really know them,
right? And then so she doesn't understand how he feels about her, and so he has to try to explain that to her in a way that is not Weinstein-ish. I
like it because he does a good job of mansplaining, and nothing wrong with that, Zaxx, is there these days?
We all need a bit of mansplaining in our lives. Absolutely. Yeah, so when I see this movie, I'll have maybe a better review. But for now, I think that's... the High Evolutionary, he still has that bottle cap face thing I'm not a big fan of.
But it's cool because that gets revealed at the end why
he's wearing
he's wearing a kind of skin mask, isn't he? Which is obviously, when you see pictures of him, and wait till you see, wow. Not for young children, Zaxx, I'll say that. Don't take any young kids to watch this. There are some scary scenes.
Is it the Red Skull? Is that the reveal?
It could be. No spoilers from me. It's actually rips it off and it's Nosferatu underneath. Oh my God.
And that's why it's dying at the box office now. So you killed it.
Great to see you. Maybe first time watching. Is it Warachi in the chat? It seems that this movie actually ends all of Marvel, at least for me. It is a good ending. You could stop right here perfectly, and I think you could have skipped all of the Phase 4 movies and TV shows. Do you know what I mean? I did most of them. But yeah, Zaxx, I tell you, I do recommend it because, as I say, I think these actors do the characters well. They've had a long time to play them, to get used to it. And I just like Mantis. She's so hot.
You like that? It's that whole Botox look.
It's those antennas.
Oh, they
get me every time. Imagine what you can do with those.
Does she have tentacles too?
She doesn't know, but there are tentacled monsters in this movie.
Ooh, really? I need to watch this movie at some point. I will. This one I do want to see. The other ones I didn't want to see, and I could still watch them right now, but I don't feel like it. I think I've got the gist of the other ones already. This one, even though I kind of know how it's going to go because I just reviewed it, I still think I should see it. I like James Gunn. He has never steered me really wrong.
Me too.
I wouldn't take his advice at parties, but
no, I wouldn't.
But in terms of movies, and his wife, he picked a hot wife. I respect that too.
Yeah, nothing wrong with putting her in every movie or show he runs after that because she's hot and she's a good actress and she looks like she can fight. I like a woman who can fight, Zaxx.
She does look like she's definitely fit. She's maybe got a little bit of extra test on the side helping her out. I'm not going to say that's true, but it's possible. She's a high tea lady, and I appreciate that. She's great in Peacemaker too, which I really have seen.
She is good in Peacemaker, and I've not finished that yet, but yeah, that is a good show, isn't it?
You haven't finished it?
I know, right? I know. I'm just so busy. I'm so busy simping over Mantis. This movie, no.
No kidding.
Did you give a score for not watching the movie? I know you gave a really good review, but did you give a score? I can't remember. What would you say out of 10?
I'm going to give it a 7. I wanted to give it 6.5, but having more time to think about how I haven't seen it, I think it's a bit better now in my mind. I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's earned it.
Okay, I was going to go 7, but now you've given it a 7. I think I'll give it a 12 out of 10. No, a 7.5. I'll add a 0.5 because it's just so much better than this rubbish we've been getting for so long now. Because, as you said, James Gunn can direct, he can write. He doesn't go too overboard on the humour. The music maybe a little bit, but they're all good tunes, so I didn't mind. Apart from the weird version of Creep by Radiohead. It is them singing it, but it's like it sounds like a demo version, and it even sounds out of tune at one point. It's like, whoa! But
okay. That
could have been the sound, the headphones, Zaxx, because I watched a Jack Sparrow version, so...
Oh, I see. I gotcha. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Radiohead was broken up. No.
Yeah. Well, it's one of their first songs, isn't it? One of the most famous ones, going back to one of their first or second album. What else? I can't remember the other songs in it, but they're either you're like, oh, that's good, that's a good song. But sometimes it does feel a bit like, why are they playing that now? You know,
out of place. Yeah.
Yeah, out of place. It was good to hear Rainbows, Zaxx. Rainbow. Since you've been gone.
Love Rainbows. Great.
Yeah, and unicorns. Mm-hmm. So yeah, good to see the chart. I can't believe it. Is it pronounced, by the way, Jane? Is it Jana? Jana Catania? Jana, not Jana.
Jana.
I'm British, so I want to say Jar.
You're so British.
Jana.
Great.
You're so British. Does it sound good? Does it turn you on when I say Jana?
I love it. I'm just gonna put a tweet out there.
Okay, nice one, mate. Yeah. I will keep blathering on for a bit.
Yeah, you don't blather, Gray. You're so smooth. You can't call that blather.
I'm not smooth. Zaxx, I feel like I'm so out of practice. It's been maybe 2 weeks since my last drunken live stream, which I don't remember for some reason. So, I just forgot what to do.
You're doing great. You got this great. All by yourself, you just popped on here alone against the world. 3 weeks away.
Says, it rhymes with banana, Zaxx. So does that mean it's Janana? Hey, Janana. No, I'm joking. Jana.
She does have a banana story that she should probably share with the world at some point.
I'd love to hear that story.
It's a good story.
Firsthand.
Yeah. All right.
Grazer next Bond. I wish. Nosferatu, I wish. Okay, Gap. Great, mate. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. I had no plan to do a long one. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on this, but I really appreciate it. You have a good night. Have a good sleep. I know it's late in the States. It's only 1:45 p.m. here on Saturday.
I want to go see Flaccid. Go see it, you Film Actors Guild member. Hey, can we talk about that for a minute, Gray? Is that okay?
Yeah,
can I hijack your stream?
Okay. Go for it.
So,
I missed that comment.
Oh, it's Flaccid.
There you go. Got it.
Yeah. There's been a weird thing happening, it seems to me, with this whole Screen Actors Guild, Film Actors Guild.
Yeah.
It's Bundle of Sticks Guild, as Nos would say. And there's strike, and I've seen some people now that I follow and I watch normally. It's kind of in our sphere. Usually, well, they're all bigger channels than us, but Similar style usually takes, and they're very much anti the writers, which I think that we got to be careful about because yes, the writing has been shit in a lot of things recently, but I think that we have to be careful that we don't do the same thing that all these other purple-haired weirdos did for Amazon with Rings of Power when they say diversity and then they rush to defend a giant corporation. So when we're saying the writers don't deserve to be paid better, we're saying, well, the people, the execs at Amazon should have an extra Porsche. Like that money is not going back into the community or something. They're not going to pay this. They're not going to then pay the actors better if they don't pay the writers more. I think it's a weird take to like defend. Now we're sort of by doing that saying they don't deserve to be paid that much. And I don't know the details of who deserves what, but we're kind of defending Disney if we start saying, if you start downplaying their ability to strike or get paid better than they do, like because that money it's staying within those corporations. We're siding with them, and so I don't really have a side yet, but I've seen the tilt towards anti-writers, and they are shitty. And one of the big arguments I've seen is people saying that they should be paid based on merit. And yeah, of course they should, but let's not kid ourselves to think they're being paid based on merit at this point. They're being paid based on what they've done before, who they know, who they've blown, how many tick boxes they check off. That's really how it does go. They don't get paid based on merit unless they're already so successful that they're outside of the union stuff anyway. So yeah, I mean, the writing has sucked, but that's also not always the writer's fault. Yeah, bundle of sticks, Nuss. That's for you.
Appreciated that, Zaxx, and this is a good deep dive, mate. I'm sorry, I'm not that clued up on it. As I say, I don't really watch any news or read stuff on the net. I've just heard it maybe from Film Threat, Chris Gore talking a bit about it. I don't know the details, but it's what you said. I'm not against writers and writers getting paid. I'm against shitty writers in jobs which they shouldn't be in. As you say, not there for merit, there for either through people they know or because they tick a box. It's the same with comics. It's been happening there, as you know from my reviews, for a while. But go carry on, mate. Go for it. This is cool.
No, just want to say that you're right. I agree with you on that, of course. But this won't, like, let's say they break the strike and they go back to work. That's not going to change that. That's not going to mean the people who suck are going to say, okay, well, I sucked this long. Now I'm going to quit and go do something else. They're going to keep getting promoted. This is going to keep happening. So being against the writers and being pro Disney, Amazon, whoever else, I don't think we really need to pick a side on this one. I think it's a nuanced and a nuanced topic, and I don't want to like where people are scoring points dunking on the writers because they're dumb, and the writers some of them are really dumb. Some of their posters are dumb. Some of the stuff they've written is bad, but also some of it's been changed by people above them who've said, we want you to write this. And so they write this and it sucks, or they get notes and they have to change it. And so there's no way you can put into a collective agreement that you have to be paid based on merit, because who decides what merit is for writing? So it's just, there's a lot to it. And I think I want to be careful that we don't, by dunking on writers being stupid, we're not then siding with Disney.
God, no, I'd hate to side with any of these huge, corporations which are taking over everything, aren't they? It's getting ridiculous. I'm sorry, mate. My brain's all over the place. Why did this come up again? Because I wasn't saying anything about writing. I know you're not talking to me. Is it something that Facet mentioned
about writing?
Yeah, because James Gunn wrote this, didn't he? He wrote this movie, and I think he's done a good job. He's a good writer, not just good writer, good director. But again, this I'm not that clued up on the story. They're striking because they want basically more money or more security, don't they? Job security. They want to get more. What do you call it?
From what I gather, and I don't know enough about it.
No, I'm the same.
So that's why I don't want to come up with a big take on it. I just want to be careful with how. Let's not just dunk on people because it's easy.
Yeah, no, fair enough, of course.
But Squeaka. So one of the things, they're asking for a bunch of things that they don't expect to get, because that's how the negotiations work. And we don't know what the other side is offering, but they're asking for things like, if you're writing on a show, you're guaranteed this number of weeks of work.
Right.
No matter how long it actually takes to write it, things like that.
I thought, was it Chris Gore was saying that writers have always been freelance, haven't they, for years and years? I don't know, going back 20, 30, 40 years, maybe there was a kind of contract system back then, the studio system, but
Yeah.
writers work on a contract basis, don't they? So once they've finished the latest production, latest movie, they're unemployed until they get the next one, as far as I
Right.
know. But again, I don't know the details, Zaxx.
That's my understanding too. Unless you're signed to a project, like say you're writing a television series, then you would be on a contract with that series until that series
Right.
is done production.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, one of the things that the writers are saying is that you have to be coming to fix a script all the time. So during the course of a season, even though the season's been written,
Yeah.
if they don't like something, they have to come and fix it. So, but that may be, they may bring you in for a day and that's it. And then they pay you
Okay.
for the day, and they want to be paid for more than that. But that's how negotiations work. So I don't think you should probably pay people for 3 weeks for 1 hour's worth of work or 1 day's worth of work. But at the same time, I don't think people who are above the writers really earn their money either, and that they should have a bigger cut of it. So I think that until I understand it, until we understand it, I want to just kind of sort of stay out of it to an extent. And I just want to, let's not, I feel like we're tilting towards defending corporations, just like when they used to say, you know, you're a racist, diversity, all that stuff. And they had people run to the defense, and we were sort of against that. Now I think we're kind of tilting towards, they don't, because we don't like a lot of the media we're being served, we don't like these writers. And some of them are probably very talented. I don't know.
So I'm just trying not to laugh at some of the comments.
They're pretty good.
Nosferatu saying that let's fill up pillowcases with bars of soap and beat the shit out of Zaxx and Gray. Zaxx, they're calling us too wholesome together. They're saying we make a too wholesome team. What do you think?
We are pretty wholesome.
Yeah, we're the nicest guys on the Webosphere, aren't we? Apart from Nerdporial.
Come and get us, Nos.
Come and get us, baby.
You know what, Nos? Get on the show. This one time.
No, he'll never do it, mate. He'll never do it.
It's a safe space. I can't promise you're going to get paid for 3 weeks for 1 hour's work if you come on the show. But, well, I could promise you that, but it won't happen. Race them for pinks. Nice.
Wow. So going back to that, Zaxx, do you see it happening? Well, it's going to go on for a long time, the strike, the writer's strike, and how much is it going to affect the big productions? Because they're talking about Rings of Power are going to carry on regardless, aren't they? Hey, we don't need writers, Even
the showrunners aren't going to be there, which is probably for the best.
That's probably better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, and it's probably going to be just as bad as it would have been otherwise. I don't think they're going to fix it.
No,
but it's an odd move to say we're going to keep making our show. It's kind of admitting that it's that bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much admitting they don't need showrunners or writers.
Jan, if Nosferatu comes on the show, Jana, would you come on the show too?
Oh, you're always welcome.
Look at that.
Of course.
Leverage.
Jana's new connection for me, and is it Copa
she's
as
awesome.
well? Copa. Yeah.
Copa's
recently,
less awesome because, but he is
not got to know them. What's the word? It's a whole virtual thing. It's actually you meet people via friend streams, and you get to see people on Twitter as well. It's like, oh, okay, and then somebody comments on something. So yeah, I'm really glad that everything's okay for you guys, because I don't know you that well, but I heard what was going on, and seriously, that happened when I was in Osaka. So I was kind of like, Jesus. Sorry I didn't respond quicker, but yeah, I really hope you guys are okay, and I hope everything's good, and the baby's Genki, and you're Genki too. Oof, says Jana.
They're both awesome people. So Copa's on Wednesdays with me permanently now, or until he quits. So it's great to have him on board. He's awesome. He makes great stuff too. And they're a fantastic couple. They're a dynamic duo, both of them. And there's 3 of them. So Cece will be giving orders very soon.
That's awesome. Okay, good. You're welcome. Thanks, great. It was a crappy 48 hours, yeah, but we're great now. I tell you, I've been there. I know what I mean. Maybe not as bad, but we've all been there with kids. We've all had those nights in hospitals thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? What are we going to get through this? But yes, everything will be okay. Just believe, believe things are going to be okay, and yeah, you'll be fine, hopefully. So, what were we talking about again? Zaxx, was it Guardians of the Galaxy? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's by far the best Marvel movie.
I'm the same with you. I say 7 out of 10. 7.5 just to be different. But yeah, it's a strong 7. It's not terrible. It's not great. I think it's the second best after the first movie. It's better than Volume 2, I think, because I rewatched that and I was like, yeah, I don't know what it was about that, because I love Kurt Russell, but whether the story didn't work or they had Yondu as being so overpowered with his whistling arrow thing. I don't even remember. There's a scene in there where he takes out like about 2 million bad guys with that arrow. It's like, well, why don't you just have him?
True.
That's all you need. Anyway.
And you're right about that. The one thing that makes it, for some reason, because James Gunn is good at writing, he makes you like, and the actor was excellent too. For Yondu, you like him enough that when he does that, it doesn't kill the movie for you, because it would, in a lot of cases, it would absolutely murder the movie. That this is so ridiculous. But you're like, you like him, so, and you kind of pull in for him, and it's his big last stand. So it's kind of.
Zaxx, that got me. I'd forgotten about that at the end. I knew that he perished. He died at the end of part 2. Mm-hmm. That really got me. Earlier this morning, I watched it. I was like, Jesus. Again, James Gunn is good at that. He knows how to really pull your heartstrings, doesn't he?
There's a scene in Peacemaker where they're all together in their vehicle, and they've just finished like this job. It's messy, didn't go well, and they don't even say anything, but they put the music on, and it's some like German metal band, and it's just like a great moment, and you see the characters kind of look at each other, and you see they're now a team, and he does that without having to say to us, hey guys, they're now a team, and they're going to work together, and these guys are now going to be friends. Even though they fuck with each other the rest of the season, he's really good at making you feel things for these characters that you probably wouldn't expect to, without having to beat you over the head with it.
Yes, great point. Because, he gets a lot of criticism for not playing everything for laughs, but he does have a really good sense of humour. He's got a kind of slapstick as well, and a very dry sense of humour at times. It can get a bit overboard, but he's not out of control, Zaxx. He's not like a Taika Waititi, is he, who just went completely mental with that last Thor movie, which I haven't watched. I've just heard how bad it is.
Yeah, Nuss. I was so happy to meet you at that concert, Rammstein.
Oh, it's weird, isn't it, Zaxx? The StreamYard, the comments come later than a couple of seconds or whatever after YouTube. You're seeing them first on YouTube, but I'm like, I feel like I'm behind on the stream.
Oh,
Rammstein. 94, saved my life. I knew it. Listen, Zaxx has saved my life on many occasions. He pulled me out of a few drunken streams and he's like, Gray, come on. He saved my life a few times there.
Shieldwall, hell. I got a question for the chat and you, Gray.
Yeah.
This is another thing I was thinking about, which I'm just going to hijack Gray's stream and talk about my shit. Do you think we're being too generous with scores overall? Well, because I gave it a 7. I haven't seen it, but I'm still giving it a solid 7. 7.5. But,
I love the way you keep doing this and you just don't care about it. And people it's great that we've got friends in the chat. Otherwise, you might get a random person say, who's this idiot? How can he review a movie he hasn't seen?
Just like this.
Doesn't know you, does he?
Yeah, I'm not lying. I'm not saying I saw it. Right? I'm being honest.
Honesty is the best policy, Zaxx.
But there's Pops has brought this up too before, because he's reviewed for a living. And, when he says something is a 6, it's above average for him. And that's not a bad score. But when I hear people say 6, for whatever reason, for me, it computes as being a bad score.
Okay, interesting. Because
how do you feel about that?
I'm a 5. For me, 5 is average, but I would say it's a kind of pretty poor average. Yeah. 6 is pretty decent. 7 is, for me, 7's good. So
yeah, but 6 is still above average. 5 is average.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I do that with comics as well. 8 is very good. 9 is this is like an essential watch, and 10 is kind of like Godfather. Apocalypse Now. It's like just a genius. Blade Runner. It's something like that. I very seldom give a 10. I hate people who throw out 9s and 10s all the time. Yeah, and this happens in comics, Zaxx, all the time. Comic reviews. IGN especially is great for
same
that. Thing. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, not everything's a 9 or an 8.
If everything's a 10, then nothing's a 10.
Well, yeah, and so when people like I watch Pop's channel and he's doing a review, he gives it a 5 or a 6, and it's like he feels like he's sort of shit on the movie or the book, but really he's just saying it's an average thing. I enjoyed parts of it I didn't, but for me, when I think average, I think 7 is kind of like an average score.
Oh really?
Like it's kind of how I've been.
Me, like.
Yeah, you're better. Well, you're a reviewer. Like you still.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, you
Come
do.
on. When you talked about criticism for people like giving too many high scores, I thought you were like talking about me indirectly because I do. Because I focus on positives. Like people might say for Grey, 7 for Guardians 3. It's bloody terrible. The plot doesn't make sense. Like they can pick out all these faults, but I'm like, yeah, but I enjoyed it, and the things I enjoyed it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. But that's me. That's my rating system.
Mm-hmm. I give it a 7, and I haven't seen it.
There we go. Let's have a look. Shieldwall's got a point here about that. It's funny how a 6 in the 1980s is now a 10. There you go.
It's true though, Shieldwall. I feel like, and I don't think it's a problem, but I think it's interesting how we do look at those numbers. And why would I give something a 4 and not a 3? Like, what's the gap there like? Is that like we don't even use those numbers? Pretty much, it's a 5 and up on our scales. It seems like. Yeah.
It's rare for me too, Zaxx. I've done it a few times, and one thing I'll make a point of, if I give a comic, say, a 3 out of 10 or even a 2, I will write a proper review and I'll say why. I'll put the points. I won't just do this is shit and leave it at that. I hate those kind of reviews. It's not a review, is it? 1 out of 10, this is shit, or like dog shit. It's like, come on, you can do better than that. Like, what didn't you like about it? Why should people avoid this? And then you give your reasons. It doesn't have to be a big essay, just like bullet point. So. Yeah, anyway, I'm kind of waffling.
Nos is being sweet in the chat.
I can't believe it. I missed a sweet comment from Nos. Let's highlight it. If we're breaking down the fourth wall, you and Zaxx are amazing, great. I'm genuinely fortunate to even bullshit with you two. Come on, you've been drinking, haven't you, mate? You must be in your cups to say that.
Skinny-girl vodka is what he says later on.
Oh, where is it? Oh, Skinny Girl Vodka. I don't know that one. Is that a Japanese brand?
I can see the future of the chat with my.
I know Zaxx is 3 minutes ahead of me on the stream. It's unbelievable, and it's supposed to be my stream. How does he do that? Zaxx is magic, and he's pulling in views as well.
Jacob Ironside, Hale, good to see you.
Blair's by. How you doing? And Shieldwall as well. Shieldwall, mate, you're asking about Golden Week. It was very good, thank you. I said I went down to Osaka. The Comic-Con was awesome, Zaxx, but I was wrecked afterwards. I've been recovering ever since, and not because of this, believe it or not. Wasn't drinking. It was just so busy, so hectic, working hard and having a good time and not getting enough sleep.
I saw some of your videos from the convention floor, some of the ladies in the booth. So what would you say, like, what were your highlights aside from the ladies? Like, we pretend they weren't there. Oh, that's not. Let's talk about the ladies first, and then we'll get into, like, who was your favorite cosplayer that you saw? Let's do that first.
There was a really good Chainsaw Man. Just the guy had made this costume. I don't know how he'd done it. He looked so cool. It looked like the chainsaws were stuck in his arms. It was amazing. He was like a highlight. There were some really sexy, of course, lady cosplayers. There was a Red Sonja, Zaxx, in a booth just across from where me and Ginger were.
I saw.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
She's not, well, I suppose, kind of pro cosplayer. She goes around different cons and she will do different, special cosplays. She's cool. A German lady called Micah-chan.
I think that was a photo on your members, maybe? Thing? Is that where I saw that?
Maybe, yeah. I think so. On that short video posted, she's right at the end wearing a very skin-tight red. I don't even know what it was, the little red devil costume, but she was in Red Sonja the next day, and she did a photo for the cover of the Dynamite issue of Red Sonja, the new one. I managed to get one of those. I got a signed copy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Oh Jesus, where is it? Oh my God, no, it's upstairs by my bed for some reason.
Why is it by your bed? Gray, don't get lotion on it.
Under the tissues.
Don't get lotion on that copy.
Oh my God,
that's gold.
What's going on?
I just want to say that because I love Gray, I'm not going to point out that when I asked him about cosplayers, he went right to the dude being Chainsaw Man.
No.
I'm not going to bring that up.
Oh no, it's all out, isn't it? Oh my God. Yeah. No, that was like A for effort, mate. You know what I mean? It's like, how did you make it? Seriously, really good.
Yeah.
I didn't have a photo of that this time, but I posted a photo from the Tokyo Comic Con. He was there as well. Yeah, really good costume.
How big was the convention?
This one was massive. It was
Yeah.
really big. I've not been to an American one, so I can't compare, but it was bigger than Tokyo. And Tokyo was just after Japan had come out of lockdown, because we were like 3 years too late, whatever, coming out of lockdown. But so everything was spaced out in Tokyo. This time it was more, like you imagine a proper Comic-Con. Everyone's kind of squashed in together. There's loads going on. There's cosplay parades. There's events going on. There's like interviews. I saw Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown from a distance. Heard her interview. I was like, I didn't know she was British. She's got a really good like posh British accent. I had no idea. I thought she was American. Seriously, it's like, oh yes, absolutely. I'm delighted to be part. It's like, no way, she's British. Happy about that.
Where is she from? You said she's posh.
Yes, I'll have to check it up.
Posh like
look it
you,
up.
or a different kind of posh?
I'm not posh. I'm from Manchester,
Right.
mate. Yeah. Just let me have a quick look.
Okay.
Zaxx. Where are we, Billy? Oh no, it's Millie. Sorry, Billy Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, don't tell AJ. Don't let him hear that you saw her, because he's gonna get all wound up about that.
No way. She's British, Zaxx, but she was born in Marbella, Spain.
Oh my god.
And she grew up in, where are we? Bournemouth. Bournemouth is down south. So yeah, I thought southern part of England. So she speaks very well. She's well spoken. And the family moved to Orlando, Florida when she was 8. No way.
Sounds like she's a Fed. Don't trust her.
Spain, England,
Yeah.
Florida, America.
She's been too many
Oh.
places. That's not believable.
Shieldwall knows, mate. He understands. I'm not posh. I'm from Manchester. Truer words never said. Oh, that reminds me. I've still got that clip. Listen to this. This is how I used to sound. That's before I came over to Japan and started teaching English and sorted my accent out. Here we go.
That was superb, that, lads. It really was. I've not seen a reaction in here like that since George Best got kicked out for glassing a bouncer. But I know how you can be better, like that. You play, I manage. We all get stinking rich and famous and go and buy fucking great big houses in Cheshire. Jobs are good 'un.
And who are you?
Rob Gretton.
Jobs are good, mate.
What's that from?
That's from the Joy Division film. What's it called? Control. It's a story of an old British kind of post-punk electronic band. They became New Order later on. Yeah, really good.
I give that movie a 6.5.
That's quite strict. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. It's close to a 9. It was really good acting, really good, and the actors they play all the songs. Zaxx, believe it or not, they actually do it, because he was kind of famous for not really singing in a way, almost talking the songs, that kind of thing. He's got a deep voice, you can you can just kind of sing them like that.
But it's black and white, so it's kind of pretentious, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know. I like pretentious. I went to art school, mate. What can I say? Wow, we're all over the place, Zaxx. So, what are your plans? Anything good happening? Anything that I've missed these days? I feel like I've been away for years.
Anything you've missed?
Yeah, I saw a bit of your stream with Force of Light, and
Oh yeah.
you had Tom Connors came on. No,
He
come
did.
on, that is YouTube celebrity there. Come on, man.
He is. He shared with us his soundtrack collection. He's got like a
God, I
crazy
was so jealous.
vinyl
You.
collection of
Amazing.
soundtracks. Yeah, Copa has come back on, so he was off for a couple weeks because obviously he's caring for his wife and child, but it's good to have him back this week too. Otherwise, I've been trying to make clips and put them out a little bit, and
Okay.
I wanted to have the dad stream back last week, but then Roman, who you should have on here right now, I'd love to have Roman tell us about his week from hell, where his kid's car got hit even though it was parked and just got destroyed.
I heard a bit about it.
He made the decision to, instead of just like fix up his deck patio area, he splurged, because he deserves to be able to splurge. The guy had a brilliant career, and so to put in a new one, and in the process they tore their roof. They damaged like the roof where the roof attached to where the patio was.
Oh my
and
God.
now he has to get that fixed, and they're saying that's not part of the deal with the contractors who ripped it apart aren't going to fix it. He's had a hell of a week, that guy. So we couldn't do a dad stream last week, but hopefully this week do one. Yeah.
I'd love to join one day. That's when we can arrange it. When I'm if not working, I'd love to be on a dad stream, because I think I turned out to be a pretty good dad, not surprisingly. Because in the beginning I was like, holy shit, what's going on here? Oh my God. But yeah, if I could do it, anybody can.
Well, you seem like you've done a great job, Gray. So, and like it's a process, right?
Yes, it is.
I'm definitely
Huge
not.
learning process too, isn't it? No one teaches us how to be a father or a mother, do they, Zaxx?
Don't take advice from me either.
No, me too.
I give myself a 7 at a time.
Oh, really? That's a bit strict, that. I thought you'd give yourself a 9.
I'll let you give me a 9.
Give you a 6.9.
Yeah.
69. Where are we? Copa is busy showing his baby. Is it Kanan?
I think it's supposed to be Conan.
Oh, Conan the Barbarian. Oh,
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian. Yes. Speaking of that, there's a new Conan comic book series coming out in July, Zaxx. Marvel lost the license to it, so thank God. So we're getting a proper, going back to the pulpy style, blood and guts and tits Conan, hopefully, from Titan Comics, which is a British company.
I've heard that that's what's happening. You're pretty excited about that one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you brought it up in Nick's stream earlier.
Yeah, briefly. Oh, yeah, I didn't know you watched Nick, by the way. I've always wanted to go. I've been on once, but it kind of clashes with mine. And it's like, he's like, great, come back on, talk comics. I want to. It's a great stream, that, really chilled.
Well, everyone wants you, Gray, so it's just a question of when you're going to have time and being on the other side of the world. So, what were your your big pickups? I saw your what was it, Transformer? What were you showing when it came on here?
That was a She-Spawn, a really old She-Spawn figure. Ooh. I only got that. I got that Red Sonja comic, the signed cover, and I got a couple of old 70s Marvel. There was a Tomb of Dracula issue. There was a couple of Defenders and Invaders issues. It's proper, like, classic pulpy 70s Marvel. And crappy conditions, actually. Not worth anything, but I just got them to read. Because I'm not about that. I'm not a person who gets comics graded and, never touches it. It's like, no, I'm gonna read the crap out of this if it's good. And Pop's like almost has like a stroke when he sees me. Like, what are you doing with it? I was like, oh, I'm showing it off. I'm touching it, slavering over it.
I watched a stream he did with what's her name? She reviews comics and stuff too. Anyway, he was doing an interview and she pulled out a comic she had just bought, and he's like, "Wait, stop! Don't touch that."
Yeah, don't touch it. Don't breathe on it.
Yeah, it was like he thought it might be some rare copy of The Killing Joke. It was great.
Oh, like, yeah, it was, what's she called? Megan?
Megan, yes.
The new reviews.
Yeah, and he's like, stop, don't touch that. But put that away.
I never even thought about it. Yeah. I still got my original Killing Joke, I bought it back in the day when it came out, and I brought it over here. And yeah, I've read it to death, Zaxx, covered in fingerprints and stuff, but that's what they're for, aren't they? Comics and books.
I think so. And Gray, Nos he's correct. I am in favor of some light bullying here and there. And so if you don't cooperate and do more streaming, we might have to drive all the way to Japan and give you a shove.
Imagine if we did a meet up here. That'd be awesome one day.
I'd love it.
Ginger Ninja's talking about that as well. There's only like 3 of us have kind of got together, but we all live all over the country, so it's hard to meet up. Ginger's like over on one of the southern islands. I'm here, and then there's Angry Canadian. He's over in Osaka, which is not too far. But it's like about 4-hour drive.
That's not too bad, but it's not close either.
No, it's not close enough. Is it just like pop round, for a coffee?
Ginger had quite a booth. How was that for him?
Yeah, he did really well. He was proper busy, getting a lot of commissions. People are coming over and asking,
he's amazing.
Can you draw this? He's great. I was kind of jealous, Zaxx. When I was younger, I wanted to be a comic book artist. When I grew up, but it didn't work out. So just watching him is like, man, he's got it. He's got something, and he sold some of his Tolkien works that he'd been doing for that Respect for Tolkien, push on Twitter. He sold some of those, and someone bought 4. One guy bought 4 of them, like $300 each. Jesus. But they were beautiful, proper watercolor paintings, like great scenes he'd done from the books. He just imagined it from the book.
He's talented, and he's able to do them, but he doesn't I've learned from you guys about the comics industry, because I used to buy them and read them like you, but I never follow the industry. How long it takes to make a comic? You should join him, Nos. Yeah, come on, Nos. But it's how long it actually takes to do the art for one page on a comic, that it takes more than a day. Yeah, Graded and Untouchable. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right, Zaxx, you're right. I'm listening to different artists. Huge recommend is the Mark Miller YouTube channel where he interviews different comic book artists. They're really fun, entertaining interviews, but it's like everyone's got their own process. Some people can do a page a day. Some people can take a week on a page, or even longer. Think about that. It's like 20 pages to a comic. So you're talking, 20 days to 20 weeks, depending on the artist. Wow.
But I've watched Ginger on a stream create art in hours. Like it's from out of nowhere. So his pace is pretty amazing too for what he's able to do. Do you have any art you've done that you want to show us? Because you want to be an artist, right?
I had a stick figure I drew. I can't remember where that's gone now. Yeah.
Was that going to be your comic character?
Threw it away.
I wish I could draw.
I tell you, I'm the same though. I've not done it for years, so you got to practice. It's 90% or 95% perspiration, 5% inspiration, something like that. You got to keep practicing. And I gave up too soon, maybe, Zaxx. But as I say, watching him, I was thinking, man, I'd love to be able to do this and have your own little booth. He's also very good with people, with customers. Not just his Japanese is really good, but he's very good at engaging people. So he's got the gift of the gab.
So do you, Gray.
I don't know about that.
I think you do.
I was flagging until you came, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, can I make it to 30 minutes on my own?" I was struggling, Zaxx.
I could feel for you, Gray. So I got it as quick as I possibly could. I wanted to be an artist. I loved comics. I wanted to be an artist too, but I am the world's worst artist, to the point where I passed art in grade 9.
Okay.
With a 50. So just barely, so they passed me so I would pass. But I'm that bad at
Come
art.
on.
And
Doesn't matter.
But that was more of and it was okay to bully people. So my teacher to tell me that I was crappy at drawing was fine. Like I just tried to do better, but I couldn't do better. And so I bought those books, like How to Draw Comics. Have you seen those?
I used to have them How to Draw Comics the Marvel way. Do you ever have that? That was a cracker.
It always ends up looking like a snowman. I just draw a circle and circle
I tried.
and circle. This does not look like a person. How come there's like a step that I'm missing that they can pull off? But it's like it looks like a snowman at the end.
My problem was what do you call it? I wasn't too bad when I was really getting into it, but I had a really good friend, a close friend, and he was awesome. He was really bloody good. It's one of those I was like, oh shit, so I used to do my stuff and then I see his, I'd be like, oh God, his Spider-Man looks like Spider-Man. Mine looks like someone trying to draw Spider-Man or trying to copy, Batman, that kind of thing. And he went on to become an artist. He's living over in France now. He, not a comic book artist, a proper artist, and he's also a photographer. So, fair play to him. Hope he's Genki.
Oh, good night, Jacob.
Oh, sorry, I'm missing it, Jacob. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm miles away. Jacob's saying, it's a 5-hour stream with the White Cloaks. Oh, really? Did you? Wow. No way. How was that? I bet that was fun.
It's you're drawing dicks, yes. Well, you can't just draw dicks. You also have to draw balls. That's the key. It has to be the total package or nothing.
Oh dear, that's it, Shieldwall. You not dicks, but the reason I started getting into art is because I wanted to draw, nice boobies. That's all it's about, isn't it? Getting into Boris Vallejo and of course Frank Frazetta, fantastic artists. But man, could they draw women and muscular men's acts too.
Have you? Mark Miller follows you on Twitter, doesn't he? Or he retweets you and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a surprise. It doesn't transplant to views. It's a shame. He gets loads of views on the tweet. It's like, wow, 4,000 views, and then I check my views on the video. It's like, I'm like, oh, I got 2 more views.
And you review all of his books, and you like his. You honestly enjoy his writing. Correct?
At the moment, I think it's really good, Zaxx. I've not read that much of his older stuff, and I've heard mixed things. Civil War is famous, but I read a bit of that. I wasn't that keen on his Civil War, which they adapted for the movie. Is it Hitman? Have you read his Hitman or Kick-Ass? Is it Kick-Ass and Hit Girl? I can't remember the word.
Was that him?
Yeah, he did Kick-Ass, and he did the movie with Nicolas Cage and what's she called playing? I can't remember. Is it Hit Girl?
AJ is gonna come get you.
He's gonna kill me.
Oh, AJ.
I daren't have him on a stream because he'll murder me.
Yeah. Well,
Call yourself a comic book fan. What are you talking about? I
no,
know.
AJ and Hit Girl. You didn't hear. I'm not going to tell the story again. I don't want to do that.
Oh, has he got?
AJ.
He's got a fondness for. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, it's Copa. Held for review. There you go.
Where are we?
Yeah, AJ breathes heavily. Yes, Nos. Yeah. He has a penchant for Hit Girl. AJ does.
Is this the dick pic sketch stream I've been looking for?
It is, Copa.
I'm afraid it isn't. Zaxx might be working on one, but I'm not. My hands are in plain sight. I'm just saying.
So here's the secret, though, Copa. Is I trace them. So I'm a tracer. I don't draw them.
Jesus, they must be huge. Is that right? Those
Nice
pictures.
rocket ship going. And then when I was for art, like I had to take art. It wasn't an option. Like it was part of like French and art you had to take at school. And so when I did hand stuff in to be graded, they would put it up on the wall. So I would then go and take it back as soon as it was posted, because I don't want anyone to see how bad it was. So if I did have to hand it in, they did put it on the wall, then I'd have to go snatch it. And so eventually, by the end of the year, my teacher agreed to just not post my stuff. It's like we were on the same page. Yeah, is that a horse? Is that a horse? Is that a dog? What is that? I don't know. It's bad.
Is it a cybernetically altered otter, Nosferatu?
It's bad. All I can do is draw arms. That's it.
She was asking, I was late, by the way. Did you like Guardians 3? Oh, Shieldwall, you missed Zaxx's review. It was fantastic. For someone who hasn't seen the movie, he gave a really accurate review.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
It's almost like other YouTubers probably do the same thing all the time, but just don't tell you that's what they're doing.
That's right. That's right. Now, I mean, you get a lot, don't you, Zaxx, just from watching random streams. You hear a lot about the story. You've seen the trailer. You've seen the other movies, probably the first two, so you can pretty much guess what it's about. And it's very focused on Rocket. It's Rocket Raccoon's story. It's all about, let's go and help save my friend. That's the story.
Pretty good story.
Yeah.
I saw Sisu. I went to see that.
Oh, man, I checked the Japanese release date, of course. Nothing
Never.
about it in Japan. Yeah, it'll come out probably 10 years from now, so I'll have to hopefully be able to see it on streaming. Not too long.
Yeah, it's great. Definitely worth seeing. I think Drinker did a review of it now. Gary Neurotic did one, so hopefully it's going to get some more traction based on that.
Yeah, but who was first? Who was first with this? Come on.
I was way early on this one.
Early. I remember you dropped that trailer ages ago. We were talking about it.
And it's a fun movie. It's very straightforward action, and go see it whenever you can, if you can, maybe on streaming, whatever. High seas, it's fine. It only cost 6 million euros to make, so.
And is it around 90 minutes? Remember when films used to be 90 minutes? Zaxx, 85, 90? A great length.
It's 90 minutes. There's no padding. The action gets more and more absurd. Yeah, Dick Tracy. Yeah, why not?
Dick Tracer.
Dick Tracer. But it's fun. Go with it. He is Sisu. He's this unstoppable force, and he's.
Does it feel like it gets a bit? Does it become too much? Like, James Gunn's Guardians movies can be a little bit too much with certain things, or.
He's just, by the end, he is sort of more and more almost superhero-ish with his abilities by the end. He gets he gets stronger as the movie goes along, even though he takes quite a bit of damage, which they do spend time on. He spends a lot of time, and he's jacked for a 64-year-old dude, so good for him. And he spends a lot of time like sewing himself up and pulling pieces of metal out of his body as a regular occurrence in the film.
Ooh.
So he does take damage. It's just it doesn't seem to affect him that much, which whatever. He's on fire at one point. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I really want to see it, Zaxx, as I say. Wow, you just like spark memories of the first Rambo film, which is called First Blood.
Yeah.
I saw that as, not a kid, but like a young teenager. And I love that scene when he was like stitching himself up, after he jumped off the waterfall and crash landed into the tree, broke his fall. He got like a branch stuck in his arm. That was so cool. That reminds me of that.
There's
Random.
There's one. No, but it's true. And there's one sequence where he, like, he's been hit in the stomach with something, and he's dealing with that, fixing that, and then like absent-mindedly almost he starts popping like bullets out of his leg. Like he didn't appear to have been limping. He was just like And you think, okay, well,
Just like, ooh, a bit itchy. What's this? Oh, bullet.
and he's gonna be, but he manages to keep sort of marching on, but he's not, he is not a super soldier type. Like he's not, he looks, I mean, he's 64, 65. He looks like he's about 50. Like he doesn't act like he's a kid. He's not Bruce Leeing these guys. It's pretty much, he can just soak so much damage and keep coming forward that he eventually overwhelms them with that, as opposed to supreme skill. And it's cool.
Does it have a little bit of a feeling of not the setting, but the action of either John Wick or Mr. Nobody? You know, the kind of really not OP'd, but yeah, really strong, really brutal, really good in a fight kind of main character.
He was more Mr. Nobody, than John Wick. Because
I like that, by the way. I really enjoyed that. John Wick can get a little bit too like, he's basically a superhero, isn't he? I mean, he's amazing, Keanu in the part. It's fantastic, but
yeah, he's he's more Mr. Nobody. Think about the bus scene in Mr. Nobody.
I love that scene. We watched it so many times. It's brutal.
And he gets his ass kicked.
That's the whole point, Zaxx. It's realistic,
right?
Isn't it? Yes. Yeah, that's what would happen. If you can take a punch, if you can take the damage, then of course you're going to get hit. Of course you're going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
It felt like there were stakes in that, didn't it? You felt like Jesus is going to get shot. He's going to get stabbed, and he does get stabbed. He almost gets shot. Really good.
The one thing that's different about this one is that in the end, ultimately, he just wants his gold back. There's no, like, he's saving the day for... They don't even pretend. I like that. It's very straightforward. He's like, I want my gold back. And that he's going to keep coming until he gets it. Right, Copa?
There's a good point here. Check this by Shieldwall the Dragon's good comment. He's saying, what pisses me off, Zaxx, about modern movies is they're going to pad the movie. If they're going to pad it with action and fight scenes, not, yeah, that's right, sitting in coffee shops talking like a CW TV show, talking about feelings. I get you, mate, I get you.
Well, and that's well said. And in this, they don't do that. In fact, our main character, Corpy, Antima Corpy, it was his name, he doesn't talk. You don't hear his voice throughout almost the entire movie. He says nothing, and when he does, he's the only person who speaks Finnish. The Nazis, of course, speak English, and the other Finns speak English, and he doesn't. So he's that one. He's sort of aside from the rest, and there's no dialogue with him.
Okay.
He doesn't have to talk, and he's got his dog like John Wick does. So there's that comparison. But his dog, frankly, it's kind of a not the best dog ever, but fine. It's like a poodle-looking thing. Yeah.
Good night,
good night,
Squeaker.
Mouse.
Care. So he talks with his hands. He lets his hands and his feet do the talking, Zaxx, he's saying.
But he's relentless about it, but he's dragged along. He's not out looking for trouble. It's like he's just trying to get from point A to point B, and then they make the mistake of crossing paths with him, take something of his, and now he just has to keep going till he gets it back. There's no greater message to it. There's some ladies in it who you do really feel for, and they go through quite a bit in it. And so there's a scene people talked about at the end where at the trailer where there's ladies walking with the guns, and it's like, is this going to be a girl boss thing? And it's not at all. Period. Not like that.
I remember you saying that, so that's good to know. Good to know they don't go there. Zaxx, are you okay for time? Can you spare another 20-30 minutes? I was going to go for about 2 hours. Is that okay? Yeah. What I'll do is I'll drop the link in the chat if people want to jump in. You're welcome. I think Shieldwall might pop in and
cool.
Blair, is that okay with you?
Yeah. Well, of course, it's not my show, Gray.
I thought it was your stream. This
Jason Statham moving safe. I've never seen that one.
Where are we? Where's that?
Better than nobody.
No, I haven't seen that. I do like some of his stuff though. Jason Statham, he's pretty cool. Page, there we go. There's a link, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to jump in, you're welcome. Nosferatu, you're always first on the list, mate. But I know you refuse me as usual. I know.
He's a tease. Copa's been working on a 3-hour deep dive into Commando. It might go 3.5. He says, yeah.
Fantastic movie. Love that movie. Again, saw that pretty young and just blew me away. Remember those days when you had people like Arnie who would, Stallone, like they're gonna what do you call it? They'll get people to the theater. They'll make you want to see the movie. There's only really Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves these days.
Yeah, pretty much. Blair,
Hey guys,
how's it going?
How you doing?
good. Long time no see, Gray.
Yes, it feels like it's been ages. I've not streamed for a while, so good to see you, man. I love your background.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that for me? Is that for me, Blair? Especially for me, I'm going to start simping again in a minute.
I had on the Romans show the other night.
Oh, okay, cool. And Shieldwall, how are you, sir?
Hey, Shieldwall.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, can hear you good.
Okay.
You sound as sexy as ever.
This one,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, look, what's up, Blair?
Hey, Shieldwall, long time.
Yep.
Oh,
Zaxx
I got it.
is-
Nosferatu just uttered himself. He's Blair. I knew it.
I thought Nosferatu was Shieldwall because Shieldwall never reveals his face, which is a good point, a good thing to do, by the way.
Yeah.
I just don't have a camera.
That's all right, man. No worries at all. I've enjoyed your comments in the chat, both of you. Like, you've got some things to say about what we've been talking about. You know, decent action movies. Like Zaxx is recommending Sisu, saying we've got to go see that.
The biggest real question is how can I sign up for swim lessons where you're a swim instructor?
She's amazing, isn't she? I wish she really was my swimming instructor and not the swimming instructor in my dreams. Mamma mia.
I saw that. Yeah, I was like, what's crazy is, well, at least when I was in Japan, you could really find swim instructors that look like that if you looked.
Some instructors. Are we talking about the same thing here?
Maybe.
It was something that Gray put on Twitter. I think it was just a picture of chick in a bikini. He was like, "This is my new swim instructor."
Oh.
So,
I can't remember what it was for. Was it something 70s rock fan had done?
yeah, it was
tweets and
something.
everything.
It was just
See if I can
responding.
find it and I'll share it.
Yeah,
You guys go for it while I'm just looking for something.
but yeah. So yeah, I want to see Sisu. It's just not coming around where I'm at.
Not at all. Really?
Probably not.
I think it's available here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to drive like an hour and a half to see it or whatever.
It's a 90-minute movie, so you go there for an hour and a half. You spend an hour and a half. You drive home. It's fine.
Yeah. I just wish it would come to the local theater or something. Hopefully, it comes to streaming soon. I just watch it there.
Yeah. You can pre-order it on Amazon now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's
Yeah, I
not streaming, but you can pre-order it, so when it comes out.
I saw the Guardians movie, and it was okay. I mean, it didn't have a "Look, y'all, I'm Mary Poppins" moment or anything like that. So, from the second one.
I haven't seen it. I don't care either way if I see it or not.
Yeah.
I have no excitement for it. So
Here's what I'll say: if you caught it on streaming or it came on TV or something, it'd be worth a watch.
yeah.
I agree.
And if you are a fan of the first two, it's not unwatchable. It's not horrible. It's like everything that they put out these days. Even Mandalorian season 3, where you just see this beam of light through this cloud, and you're like, "Wow, this looks like it's going to go somewhere," and then it never does. Well, this movie does go somewhere. It's just it's a little choppy. It's almost, to me, it was like watching 3 movies at once. There were 3 different story tracks, and sometimes they'd merge well, and sometimes they wouldn't.
That's what I heard. It was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it was just. There's probably a gun cut out there somewhere.
That's what somebody was saying.
Yeah,
it seems like there's a much longer, cohesive version out there. That
Sucker Punch was like that. If you ever saw that movie, where it was garbage, and then you saw the director's cut, and it was actually decent because it made sense then.
I'm gonna have to find that then, because I was so excited for that movie. I watched that trailer a million times. And then I saw it. I'm like, what the fuck was this?
I remember. Yeah,
the music was good, and I bought the soundtrack. I used to listen to that going to work.
It was great.
Yeah.
Is that showing, guys? That's my swimming instructor, Zaxx.
But this is the tweet. He's like, "Yes, and here's my personal swimming instructor."
Nice.
And I was like, "All right, I need to Yeah.
It's gone.
I need to brush up on my breaststroke.
But
That's my favorite stroke, the breaststroke.
but here's the crazy thing. That whole passport bros thing. Dude, you could just walk up to a girl like her in Japan and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And you'll know right away if they don't like you, but you'll know right away if they do. There's no games. That's what I liked about it, being there. Unless it's changed drastically in
Need to go to Japan
30 years. So,
and go back in time.
A lot has changed, Shieldwall. A lot has changed, unfortunately. But yeah, when I first got here, I've been here 20 years now. They used to call it Gaijin Magic, Zaxx and Blair. Shieldwall knows all about that. That's all you need to be. You know, you could be a very average-looking person, but because you're a foreigner, it's like, oh, hi, you're in.
yeah,
Not
you just have
always.
to
But
learn a little bit of the language and be nice. Being nice will get you farther there than it will in like America. You know what I mean? In America, you gotta just be like, you know, put your hand on their face and push them out of the way and be like, get out of my way. And then they'll like
Jesus.
But like Chappelle did in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe Shieldwall might be able to correct me on this, but I'm only in a small town. But I will say this: as far as I know, my experience, Japanese women are not into one night stands. That's one thing I've noticed is a big difference between the UK and here.
Really?
And speaking of one night stands, welcome to the stream.
Hey, you know, if I see a link, I'm going to click it.
Oh, I'm glad you jumped on, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You got
course.
Conan just running on a loop.
Yeah, dude, that's why she's so quiet right now. She's watching Conan.
That's amazing.
Lamentations of your women.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm really hoping that that's going to be her first words is the lamentations of their women. That's what I'm looking forward to.
You're gonna come in one night, and you and John are gonna be like, "What's going on in there?" And you know, this will be a few years later, and she'll be standing up on her bed going, "That's power." That's she's like, "Come to me, child."
Now, see, tonight's Milk movie was Midnight Milk movie was Pitch Black. So,
Good one.
I threw a poll up on Twitter, and I said, should tonight's movie be Red Sonja or Pitch Black? And a majority of people said actually Pitch Black. So we turned on Pitch Black, and she's been sleeping like an angel all night long.
I voted for Red Sonja.
Yeah, I would have voted Red Sonja too.
Yeah,
just to complete that trilogy.
Here's what's
How
going to
many
happen with her
times-
though, with you guys, is you're going to be walking to the room. She's going to hit the remote quickly and put it back onto Conan because she's been watching Paw Patrol, but she doesn't want you to know. So,
Are you watching Teletubbies? No, it's Conan. It's Conan.
it's Conan.
No,
problem.
Conan. Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Copa, how often did he say, "I am Groot" in Pitch Black? I can't remember.
A bunch of times. I mean, that was his entire dialogue. That and in past, you know, and he kept saying family too. It was weird.
Really?
He was saying Groot, he was saying family.
Actually, that Pitch Black movie, I remember when it came out, and me and my friends just went and saw it like on a whim. We didn't know anything about it, and went.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty good.
It's decent.
And then the second one, I really liked it. Almost had like a I want to say almost like a 40K kind of feeling to it in a little bit.
Chronicles
interesting.
of Riddick?
Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick or something. There was something about it where just how they were like undead people or whatever, but
Well,
I don't know. They kind of reminded me of
Necrocons or whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Necrons.
Yeah.
Necromongers. I think
Yeah,
they're
they called them Necromunders and all that. So,
But
I've
Vin
heard
Diesel's
this.
actually a big closeted nerd. He wrote the forward to a Dungeons and Dragons book, or maybe a couple.
he has that
Yes.
tattoo on his I think it's on his stomach or whatever. It says Melkor. That's the name of his D&D character.
Guys, Nosferatu, can I just address this comment? And I don't know if it's real or not. He says, hear me out, guys. Pitch Black is the best out of the Riddick series, but Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay is a prequel to Pitch Black and even better.
Okay.
Is that real?
The game
It's
is
a
supposed to be
game.
excellent.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, it's a game. Right.
There were also books too.
The second movie was really good too.
Yeah. I
Didn't
remember
Vin
liking the
Diesel
second
do that? The Witcher, the Witch Hunter movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was
I never
kinda
saw
like
it.
It was pretty good. That was kind of his version of a D&D thing.
No.
But the second it wasn't. Wait, what? Yeah, was it that one? Yeah, it was. It was the that one where he had to break what's her name out of prison. She was on the what was it called, crematorium or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that part was really cool. Yeah.
Is that the part with the chains? It's been so long since.
Where he wraps himself up in the chains and then to break the thing. And this guy's got him on the on the little sled, and he's like, "You guys are skittish, Tombs, skittish." It was. I mean, see, that's just it. That movie's quotable, but I'm trying to think of movies that are quotable these days, and you don't just get that many of them.
No, you have to really fish for the quotable movie. But that's what I was saying too. With someone was kind of going back and forth with me on the writer's strike thing, and I said, "Look, there's a lot of outside the Hollywood elite circle of films and TV shows that you can find that that are really good, but you have to search for them because they're not promoting them."
Yeah.
For one, is what Zaxx brought up the other night on his show. Which was Silo. I didn't even know that was out, and that was like a series of books I was kind of like looking at for a while there because it was independently written. And then the last Kingdom as well. They hardly promoted that, and I just got into it, and I haven't seen a preview for that. I just seen a lot of talk about the movie that came out, and I was like, wait, there was a show.
Yeah, the show was pretty good. Yeah, well, the last season started to fall off a little bit when they had like Chinese people running around in England.
Oh really? God! No.
Yeah, they they had to throw the diversity in there.
But they never promote stuff in Netflix. Like
I'm on season 1, right near the end of season 1.
You only see stuff like Cuties or Cleopatra or some crap like that.
Exactly, Blair. Just that kind of stuff. The other thing is I'm hesitant to get invested in shows anymore because it'll wind up being good and then they'll cancel it on me, and then you're just left hanging. You're like, eh. So, like, I didn't even watch Breaking Bad till it was entirely done.
Yeah.
Same with Game of Thrones. I waited until it was totally done.
You waited for it to be totally done and then wasted 88 hours of your life.
Well, because I wanted to see it, and then I had never read the books and stuff.
Oh, no.
That's fine. But, you get to season 8.
That's the worst way to do it, though.
Yeah, it really is.
You still had to watch it, but you didn't get to enjoy the actual build up to the part where it sucked.
No, I did, because I didn't know anything about it. Like, people at work would talk about it. I just ignored them. I was so busy back then. I didn't have time for any of that stuff. It was only until after, I got out that I had the time to actually sit down and watch it. And I like watching stuff like that, maybe a little bit bingey, because I'll tend to forget stuff happens during the week. I know why people like it on a weekly thing, so you can do the water cooler talk. But nobody works at an office anymore anyway. So, it just, I don't know. I like the series to be complete. That way I don't get invested in something and then it's gone halfway through, and then you're just like, oh man, like Mindhunters.
Yeah.
I thought that show was great, and it was, but
I was waiting for the season where we got to BTK, and then they just ended the show
and everything.
Yeah, I mean they intercut it with the entire second season.
Right.
That's what we're getting. But I'm with you. But Game of Thrones was actually the show that made me go, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't drop 88 hours of my life into something that is completely ruined by the finale. So it's really hard for me to get invested with a show that's just starting out.
Last Kingdom doesn't get bad just because there are some Chinese people in it, which does kind of it does break your immersion for a few minutes, but it doesn't ruin the season.
It doesn't, and so they're in the background, and it's fine that they're there. I guess.
Are they building the railroad? Because I'm back in.
That's just it. They're like mercenaries.
What year was this again?
They're like mercenaries. So I guess somehow they could have come from China or something weird. I mean, some long, but that would be a better story. Their journey from China
True.
to England and how they became mercenaries would be a better story than most of the other. Anyway, so and it's the same with like Vikings Valhalla. It started off kind of halfway decent, and then it just fell off a cliff. And
don't they have like a black female
Yes.
Viking
Right.
leader in that show?
they try to
Queen
explain
King.
it,
Yeah.
but it's a historical person that they've swapped out. That's the problem.
Well, of course.
You
It's
know,
like Cleopatra. She's
Yeah.
now Cleopatra.
well, but of course, Vikings Valhalla is not claiming to be a historical documentary either. So,
No.
but
Well, the first Viking series had that when they were attacking Paris, they found that Chinese woman,
right, okay, so
but they explained it. Yeah, 'cause
right,
she was.
some of this stuff, okay, like with the Romans and stuff, and there were trade networks, and all you would have to do is you could introduce a person of color as a trade, like a merchant, right, in the Vikings Valhalla, and have them be. They don't have to be a thrall or like somebody like that. You make them a rich merchant,
Yeah.
and then you just do like maybe a half of an episode to kind of do their backstory, how they came from Constantinople and went up the river, and now they're trading all the silks and stuff, and they're like a powerful merchant that no one's going to jack around with, and this person has some agency, you know what I mean? And there'd be a great character, and it would be realistic instead of just this person's now in charge of the place. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So,
Sure it does. It's Netflix.
yeah.
It makes
But-
Netflix sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
Netflix sense, exactly.
speaking of current shows, I think it's just finished, hasn't it? Or it's maybe still going season 3. Is anyone watching Ted Lasso? And if you are, what the hell happened between season 2 and season 3?
I didn't even like season 2. I watched,
Okay.
Didn't? Okay, I did.
I thought that was pretty good,
I liked
but
I-
season 3.
Dude, okay. How much level of cussing can we do on the show?
Oh yeah, no problem at all. Go
Okay,
for
all
it.
right, cool. So season 2, I watched, and the entire season, I was sitting there going, "Ted, shut the fuck up!" Like every time he came into the scene, he was doing his doodly doo Ted Lasso.
It's not the same character, Copa, is it? It feels like a different character completely. Different
Yeah,
writers.
and,
It must be different writers.
He just wouldn't shut the fuck up and say his like wholesome sayings and shit like that. And then on top of that, the woman who owns the football club is now dating one of the footballers, and she had a 14-year-old girl telling her how to run a football club, and I was just like out of it. Now my wife, on the other hand, God bless her, she's still involved. We haven't watched season 3 yet, but I predict, and I haven't read anything, but I've predicted that one of them is gay. And then someone on the team is going to have a problem with it as well. Like, I figured that's where this show is going to go.
That's a good bet.
That's a
It's
guess.
a good bet. But like, I like season 2. I still thought season 2 was good. I get what you mean about the dating the
Thought
player,
too.
but I still liked it. And they make the characters likable enough that you're willing to go with it. But this season, there's like, it's not as good. And then there's an episode. You know how relevant the fappening is?
Yeah.
How that just happened? Like,
Yeah.
they're doing a lesson
I'm the one who
teaching us
started it.
about the fappening on season
Are you
3 of
serious?
Ted Lasso. Yeah. Like, it's relevant, like it's new, that it's a thing that we have to just
That was like straight
we
up
have
like
to talk about this.
that was pre-COVID shit.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Well,
now?
pre-COVID. Yeah. And it's like, you shouldn't do that. It's bad. Like, no shit. Thanks, Ted Lasso. There's an episode of Ted Lasso about that.
I've only seen like previews and stuff, but and like little clips on YouTube from the first episode. But from what I get, he's like a football teacher or a football coach, right?
Yeah.
Like an actual American, tackle football coach that goes over there. And from what I saw, I've seen those kind where they're Christian, they're from like Oklahoma or Texas. They've got all these like good sayings, and they can really bring a team together. And yeah, I think the show looked interesting. I just never got around to watching it because it was like on Apple Plus or something.
Season 1 is great. Season 2 I enjoyed too, but season 3 I've only seen 3 episodes, and I'm like, I don't think I'll go back to it. I think I'm
It gets
out.
worse, Gray.
It's a shame.
Does it represent England appropriately? You know what I mean?
It's-
Like what I
it's
mean
really
is
good.
it realistic, right?
It's good, Shieldwall, because it's showing it, like as you say, through through an American football player, like coach's eyes, someone who doesn't understand the game of football or soccer, I should say. So it's good, you're seeing it through him, and he's really, really into positivity. You got to believe in all this, and it starts off, you're like, this guy's a dickhead. He's getting abuse from everybody in the town, but he wins people over.
Right, and yeah, that's what I'm saying though. If you go to America, especially along the Bible Belt, you'll run into people like that are real,
Really?
and it's really, you know what I mean. You're just like, wow, I can't believe how positive these people are all the time.
Yeah, but dude, he steps up his Ned Flanders shtick in season 2 all the time. Like, I mean, all the time.
Was that annoying you, Copa? Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was
getting
like every
annoyed?
time he popped in the room, he was like, "I got this sweet Ned Flanders."
Oakley dokley doo.
Oakley dokley doo, neighbor. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, we don't need this all the fucking time. And I'd say that to a Midwestern person too.
He had this whole panic attack thing going on too, where he's like, that added some depth to him, and he's got the whole issue with
Yeah, well,
missing
you know
his
what? Tony
kid
Soprano had a panic attack thing going on. That was a lot more compelling than this.
That's another show I've never seen.
Yeah, apples.
Oh, it's so
apples to
good.
oranges there. Apples to bananas, even, you could say.
Okay. Well, I mean, watch Sopranos. It's a lot more wholesome than Ted Lasso.
God, I love Sopranos, mate.
Great. Have you watched Rudy? You've never seen it?
No, I wasn't sure if it was a joke because Nosferatu mentioned it first, but then
Oh no, you gotta watch that.
Jana said it. Is it good?
Oh yeah,
It's a movie,
Yeah.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on a true guy.
It's great, but then you have to watch it, and like it's a fun movie. It's great character overcoming the odds. But then you watch the last part again after you've watched it once with the knowledge that they were fucking with them in real life.
Oh wow, 1993. Is that the one? A biographical sports film.
What do you mean they were fucking with it? Like the coaches were fucking with him?
Never heard about it.
The whole thing was like, it was kind of a joke with them carrying him off the field and all that stuff. And so that's come out since then. But he's still like, he still acts like it was a real thing. And there was, I think it was Joe Montana actually that was talking about it.
No shit, I didn't even know this. That's funny.
Yeah, but they were messing with him.
I was like, man, we're still clowning on that midget.
That's what they were doing, is they were clowning on him, and how much effort he would put in all the time, even though he wasn't any good. And so they thought it was funny, and then and so that's what. I'm pretty sure it was him that said that they were just messing with him. At the end, it was a big joke for them, but for him, it wasn't. Like he really, yeah. Anyway. Look into it. Tell me if I'm wrong.
God.
Yeah, but he's got all that sweet Rudy money now. So.
Oh, he does.
Jokes on those people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Who? Joe Montana? Who?
Yeah, right.
Well, he did okay.
But yeah, great. It's like the Rocky of football movies.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm definitely watching it then because I adore Rocky. I'll go back and watch that, the first one. Man, so many times.
Is it?
What a great movie that is.
What's the other movie? It's got the little kid in it. He's got glasses, and he likes the cheerleader chick, but he knows he can't ever get her.
The Sandlot?
No, is that what it's called? And then
Sandlot.
but they let him play
No.
football, and then he winds up getting hurt at the end.
No.
And I'm explaining it wrong, but
Little Giants?
No. It's
Mighty
just,
Ducks.
No, it's just about him. I'm trying to think.
Well, there's the kid with glasses who's in love with the we're talking about swim instructors, I've heard. So the kid with glasses was in love with the lifeguard, and he got to kiss her by pretending that he was drowning. That was
Nice. That's a good plan.
And then in the movie, he
Grace,
marries her and have like 20 kids or something.
Gray's like,
yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna have to remember that move.
Yeah, right. Writing
No, it
these
was a
down,
total
mate.
Chad move, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys see the trailer for Foundation on Apple TV? The second season?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Is like they'll spend all their money on like Ted Lasso and no dollars on something cool like Silo. And what's this? The Foundation?
Yeah, it's based on Asimov's Foundation books.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's got Simon Pace is in it, and
Ooh. Hey, Dempsey. Sorry, guys, to interrupt. Great to
Hey,
see you,
Dempsey.
mate. It's been a while. I hope
Dempsey.
you're good. I hope you're Genki. He's saying he misses us all. Can't stay. Hope you're well. Wish you all the luck and fortune.
Dempsey.
Take care,
Not
mate.
that, this
Don't be
other
a stranger.
actor.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Silo was really good, though. I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes of it. So I would
Jared
Is it-
Harris. Yeah.
Is Silo coming out weekly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've heard that Foundation is not true to the books, and people who've read
That's
the
what I
books don't
heard.
like it.
I've only read the first book, but it is pretty
Oh,
good.
bummer.
It's dated now. You know, it's old. It's Asimov, so but it's a good book. Good, like kind of hard sci-fi.
Oh, David S. Goyer helped create it.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I sailed the high seas for the first one because, at a certain point, I'm not getting another streaming
Same,
service.
same.
That's my
Blair.
biggest limiting factor to watching all of these shows is they're on so many different streaming services.
I
Yeah.
can't get half of them in Japan as well. Shieldwall can't get them.
Yeah,
It's
you
crazy.
either can't get them or you don't want to sign up for one
Yeah.
show. And then you,
Yeah, exactly.
you do sign up, you get a free one or whatever, and you look through it, and that one show's the only thing good on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like Paramount Plus. They have all the Yellowstone spin-offs and Tulsa King, but anything that's not Taylor Sheridan related is not worth
Right.
watching on those streaming services.
Probably
And,
right.
Yeah, and those 2 spin-offs they're really good until they're not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I still recommend for everybody to watch them if you like Yellowstone. 1883 was really good, but it hits a point towards a little bit past the middle where you start going, okay, it's starting to get a little out of
You
control.
gonna go to
here.
Africa?
No. I'm talking about 1883.
Oh, okay.
Now, 1923 is good up until it has the same problem. It's about the same point in the season where it starts to go off the rails, where there's like a ghost ship sailing around. It's a giant like tanker thing. Like somebody would have grabbed that thing and scrapped it already. It's worth millions of dollars just floating around out there, and people see it all the time, and they're like, "Oh, look out for it!" And they're in a motor-powered boat, and somehow this thing gets ahead of them, and it just starts to go off the rails. But
Well,
up
it's a
until
ghost
that
ship.
point,
It's filled with ghosts, right?
yeah, exactly. I don't know. It was just
Isn't that how it works?
silly. It was silly. And then the amount of bad stuff that happens to Spencer is like unbelievable. It's one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, and you're just like, come on, man. Instead of screwing around with all this, let's just jump to the part where he gets back home. So yeah, he needs to go back home to like help his family out and stuff. And he's in Africa. He's like a World War I veteran that went down there to hunt, to be like a hunter. And,
Look, that's
he's
right.
cool.
He started out as a review, and
But
I'll probably
he's
clip
really,
it later.
He's really
I'll
cool.
clip
He's
it.
like real manly and stuff, and like all the, if you read all the reviews, all the chicks are like,
Guys, I want to share something with you. This is a recommendation from Zaxx a while back, and I watched it last night, and I tell you what, this is a cracker, Zaxx. An unusual film, but an absolute cracker. The Banshees of, is it Inisherin? Inisherin.
Yeah.
Sharon. Yeah.
Inisherin. So
I started
good.
watching that. It's really good.
You've got to be in the right mood, I think, to watch it, but isn't it great? It's just like,
yeah.
two friends who go down the pub together and get a pint.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's just straight up like, yeah, I just don't like you anymore.
I don't like it
And it's
anymore.
just-
You're dull. It's so sad. But it's really moving as well. And it's very like, I don't know, I love the scenes. It's beautiful. An island off of coast of Ireland. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it seemed pretty funny.
oh, that looks like the island that Luke was on, where they blew.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Where the blue.
Where you
God.
drink green titty milk?
Yeah, the green titty milk.
Shieldwall, how dare you? How dare you?
Well,
bring up
I
that
know
movie.
because they filmed it off the islands up there. That they found that island. That used
That's
to
the
be
incredible location. Yeah, isn't
Yeah,
it? The one
yeah.
they
Where
filmed it.
where Luke was supposed to be hiding out at or whatever. I think that used to be like an actual monastery there, like in the medieval times. Like,
Yeah.
Irish monks would sail out there and just kind of hang out and be hermits on the island.
Yeah.
Copa, is it Jana, by the way? Jana? Am I right?
Yeah,
Or
it's Jana.
Like banana,
Yeah.
Jana. Anything with an Irish accent, I'm in. Well, sure there. Jana, anytime I can try and speak Irish for you there.
What did I just hook you up with?
I know what she means though. It's a lovely accent when it's not too strong. There's a really sexy kind of country Irish accent that I really like. I've got a friend over here who's Irish, and yeah, big fan of him.
So what she's telling me is the next movie for the baby is going to be Darby O'Gill and the Little People on loop.
Far and away, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you don't know what that is. That's
No.
back when Disney was actually good. It's a 1959. It's got Sean Connery in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
and it's about leprechauns and stuff.
Irish people hate that because that's where most Hollywood Irish accents come from. Is that movie?
Really?
Yeah,
And it's so bad for them. They really despise.
it's a good movie though.
Say hello to me, Lucky Charms.
So,
Kind of.
Yeah,
I'm
Well,
just
just
gonna
like
show her, I was going to show her Tom Cruise's Far and Away and just say, this is how Irish people were. This is the
that
proper
movie
Irish
was so
accent.
long.
This is a documentary, of Ireland
I was-
back in the day.
I got stuck watching that. I wanted to throw myself out a window.
Oh,
That's-
dude,
that's
you
how
got
long
stuck
that was.
watching that 2-taper, huh?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You know how back in the day at the video store when you saw something that was a 2-taper, you're like, oh well, that's good. I'm
Yeah.
picking that up.
Or they had the big laser disc and you had to turn
Yeah.
it over.
Yeah, you had to flip it over.
Braveheart was a 2-taper.
Yeah, Braveheart was
Yeah.
a 2-taper.
And
Casino
well worth
was a
it.
2-taper as well.
What was another? I'm trying to think.
Having
Godfathers.
to switch tapes. That's
Yeah.
such a weird idea now, but we did it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
totally did it.
Yep.
But and we did it without even thinking about it. It was just
No.
like I would look at it. I would honestly look at a 2-taper and just be like, "Oh, that's probably really good." That's how I watched Deer Hunter for the first time because I saw those 2 tapes. So I was like, "Okay, I'll pick that up." Yeah, Braveheart was 2 tapes. Casino was 2 tapes. God, what else was? All the Godfathers were, of course.
Yeah.
Yep. And you had to fast forward through it to get to the part where you wanted or reverse it.
Yeah, but you know what like really blew my mind was that Blu-ray disc didn't have resume on it, and I was like, we have resume on tapes. Like you just started up your VCR.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's right.
And
Yeah.
and also you could some of them had really good like the higher end ones had really good fast forward and rewind, and you could get almost to the exact point where you wanted in the tape.
Yeah, you knew you were close to the end or the beginning, depending on how fast it rewound or sped up.
Mhm. Yeah, you could hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't have to work so hard. All those components didn't have to work so hard. Unless you were in the middle, then you were screwed.
Yeah, and then did you have the one with the 2 to where you could just like for like copying and dubbing and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have that one, but mine was good enough though that you could pause it on the boobs, and you get a nice crisp image of the boobs.
Really?
You get flicker? Yeah.
Yeah, mine had the shimmer.
You had to have the
So jealous, Zaxx.
you had to have the higher end one. But towards the end,
Excellent pausing.
you could get a VHS player for like $59. Like
Oh,
before they
yeah.
stopped making them. Yeah.
And that
I
was the
remember.
thing too. Back to Zaxx's point is that you had to get really good skill at pausing stuff.
You did. You did.
You
Oh.
did. You had to have a quick finger.
And fun fact, we were much more accurate with the pausing if you actually used the machine as opposed to the remote, because the remote would be like just a slight delay, and that throws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing that wrong. That's probably why you got the shimmers, because using the remote, you're just a split second behind, and now you're getting the waggle.
I think we're the only people on the stream that even knows what they're talking about.
Probably, yeah.
Everyone else is like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to talk about scrambled porn for a minute?
Oh yeah.
Dude, we had
just let me share
satellite
some, it won't be a
dish
sec.
back in the day. We had the big giant satellite dishes when
Yeah.
everything was unencrypted. And we, my grandfather rigged up a drill so we could sit in the house because you had to manually crank the thing to point it at the satellites. So we had
No
a drill
way,
set
really?
No shit.
up. You could click
That's
the button and
crazy.
hit it, and it was like. So like you're trying to zero in on the porn satellite. Oh, come back.
If you drove through the Southwest United States in the 80s, it would be like a trailer off to the side in the desert, right? It'd have a bunch of junk cars next to it and one of those big satellite dishes.
Midwest the same way out in the middle of the country.
Yeah. I always wondered because growing up in Los Angeles, my dad loved to gamble, so we would always drive to Vegas like once or twice a month, and you'd always see those big giant trailers or like Winnebagos parked out there with satellites bigger than their actual rig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because back then and now, everything's a little one. If anybody even still has satellite TV at all, but yeah, that's just a uniquely, well, for me anyway, a Southwest American experience is where you're driving down the road, and it just has everybody here played Fallout?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Right, where every other house along the interstate looks like a Fallout Raider camp. Like literally people in masks and leathers are gonna come out and be like, I'm gonna get you.
I'll take it out. That's bad. Yeah, I've not played it, so I'm the only guy who hasn't played it.
It's pretty interesting.
I'm trying to think. Crazy. You remember when in Terminator 2 when Sarah Connor and the Terminator and her son go to Mexico to that hideout?
Yes.
Those are all over the Southwest.
Oh, really?
Those hideouts, yes. That's what it looks like.
Where it's like a trailer and a bunch of junk cars and stuff piled up.
It's not like a downed Huey helicopter that they stripped it for parts or anything.
You could probably find one if you look hard enough.
That's true.
But, yeah. But also, in certain parts of the Southwest, you'll be driving around and you just see abandoned farmhouses from the 1880s just off the side of the road. Because it's so dry, they don't rot or anything.
Nas only brings up this tidbit because he doesn't want to mention he was my manager.
There you go. Yeah. Nas, you two-timer. I thought you were my manager. What are you doing?
He stole all your money like you were the Elephant Man.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, that takes me back, Shieldwall. That's a cool, dark Lynch movie, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you guys know that Mel Brooks produced that movie?
No.
Uncredited. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard something about that. I'd forgotten.
The only reason why he didn't tack his name on is because he knew that if he got credited as producer, no one would take the movie seriously.
Yeah,
they would all think it's a comedy.
Oh,
which would have been actually like a little double-edged meaning to it. Everybody's laughing at the Elephant Man all of a sudden, the movie, just like they did the actual person.
Mm-hmm. Well, because he made a lot of money throughout his career, but his manager stole it all.
Yeah,
and that's why he wound up in that hospital getting experimented on or whatever.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, not experimented on, but studied and stuff.
Yeah.
So bad at business and looked like that. What a rough go.
Right.
Haha, sucker.
You get a break for nothing.
But he got to meet Anthony Hopkins, so that's a plus.
Oh yeah. What's that? Gator? Oh, Gator likes Fallout 76.
He does. It's a bundle
when
of sticks.
When it came out, it was garbage. But after 4 years of development, it's actually not bad. Especially if you go to Game Pass, it's free.
That's low praise right there. After 4 years of development, it's free on Game Pass.
No, but I can
read an endorsement.
Because if you actually play it and you look at what the amount of work they put into it, they did put work into it. It's just their concept in the beginning was going to be PvP, but then they don't want to. Today everybody is so butthurt about everything. They didn't want it to be like COD PvP. So they just made it so terrible that there was no point in doing it. And then, I can go on and on about this, but and I'm pretty sure nobody gives a shit. So,
what are you talking about again? Shieldwall? No, I'm joking.
But what they did was they thought they could make a game like that and populate it only with player characters.
Exactly.
So there's no NPCs at all.
Well,
so it's just jackasses running around, glitching through walls. Yeah.
And well, the other thing is that there weren't any human NPCs. They were all robots and tapes left over, and the only people you ran into were these people that had this crystal disease or something, like zombies. And so people are like, "What the hell?" And in a regular Fallout game, you have people that are characters. I mean, they're NPCs, but you can
interact with.
Yeah, and in the older games, you could really do some interesting things with them. So, but that's what made the game better is they added a whole bunch of new quests that have actual people in it, not like real human players, but you can interact with human players in the game too.
Yeah, well,
everybody just muted themselves and are like, The camera's gonna
hiding
turn
from
on it. Yeah,
Fallout
Copa's we're just gonna
76.
see feet swinging.
Yeah, I know.
Gray.
Like airplane. Yeah, I
He went to get a little item for us.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah, and then Copa's
Butt plug.
probably got the drawers probably stuck. He's using both hands to open
His little
No,
quiet-
go on, Shieldwall. I'm listening. I think.
it. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh man, no, but like I haven't played 76 at all. But it sounds like you don't want COD to happen, but it happened anyways. Just because there's nothing else to interact with but other people, and they're just trying to blast each other off the face of the planet, right?
well, and that was the problem though, is the PvP sucked. It wasn't even challenging or fun, and it was I don't know. It was just kind of you could base build and stuff, which was cool, and they had like little items you could get and requests. You could get followers, and you could put them in your base, but that wasn't a very robust system either. It was cool to have, you know.
Do you think
And
if they looked at what Bungie did with Destiny 2 and then kind of ran from there,
I
it
don't
would have
know.
a better game?
The Fallout franchise game is like a lot different than Destiny because I play that every once in a while, and it's good. It's just once you've burned through all the content, it does have replayability, but you're just grinding for gear,
Right.
by that point. But yeah, it's but anyway, I can understand why Gator likes it. I guess that's the whole point of that whole thing. I can understand why Gator likes it. And yeah, but and that's the sad thing is the way they launched it so broken, and it's got 16 times the visual fidelity, and you were like, no, it doesn't. And but the amount of work that it's the same with movies. You see like these movies that are like mid, but all the work like the key grip put in, and people they worked hard on the movie, and then it just tanks because it's written like crap.
Yeah, that's like the gaming industry now anyways, is put out a broken game, we'll fix it later. Day one patches is a thing now that everybody's kind of accepted.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the pre-order. They've done so well at getting people to want to pre-order before the game is officially
I think
released.
that's dying off. The other thing is that it's not just day one patched. You're basically a beta tester now. When they
Right.
came out. Now they've taken to actually putting it as a pre-release or whatever, like stating factually, this is like a preview or a work in progress or what do they call that? It's called something.
Alpha.
But you can
Beta.
no, it's
Gamma Delta.
Open beta.
Low T. It's called low T.
there's a term for it where it's so that you can you can pay money for it when you buy it. You understand that it's not complete, and that you're there'll be games in that status for 10 years before.
Yeah, isn't
yeah.
What is it? Cyberpunk? In that in that realm where they're still working on it?
I'm playing that now.
Is that right?
It actually works, which is nice.
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, that game is weird too because it's like playing two different games. You got the open world where you're driving around just doing stuff and like side missions. That feels like its own thing. And then you got the story with Johnny Silverhand, and that feels like it's a totally separate game almost. Because as cool as it is, it really silos you into about 3 story tracks, which is okay, I guess. But
what are you playing it on, Zaxx? What is it, console or PC?
PC.
Okay, is it good? Is it you got a fast PC? Yeah, a strong PC.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's newer. It's a newer PC now. So
Oh,
I couldn't play it on my older one, my laptop. It was a no go pretty much. But it's
Yeah.
going well on this. I played it on Stadia for fuck's sakes. That was
holy
Yeah.
crap! How
know.
are you still here? You didn't drive your truck off a cliff or
Oh
something.
my god! and it would play okay. Actually, better. It would play better in Stadia than it would on my PC, but nothing played great on Stadia. So it's like neither was a good option. So I just let it go. And and luckily they refunded everybody for Stadia
How did you
stuff. So
how did you even get Stadia? Like Did somebody gift it to you, or you got it for like?
I got it on. I got like it was the price of the controller. If you got that, then you got this. If you bought the controller, you got the game. So it came with Cyberpunk, and so I still use the controller. It's actually really good. It's a decent Bluetooth controller. So I bought the controller, and then you get Stadia with it, and you got Cyberpunk with it. But trying to play Cyberpunk with that controller was just a nightmare. But
from what I saw, it was all the latency and everything. If you lived in a place like LA or something where you were right next to the server, fine. But if you lived way out in the country, you were boned.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as people said. At least it wasn't for me. If I used an actual like LAN connection as opposed to Wi-Fi. So, but it still was not the experience I wanted, especially with that game. And you could play it on your desktop too in your browser, and that actually wasn't as bad as my PC trying to actually run the game. And yeah, there's a bit of a delay, but it's not the kind of a game where it's not precise. I'm not playing competitive Call of Duty where pixels matter. So it was okay. It just wasn't. What I didn't like about it is all these buildings and all these places you could go that you couldn't actually go drove me nuts, because I came from playing some of the other games where like if it's an open world, it's an open world. So if there's a building, if there's a hut in the woods in Witcher, you can go into the hut, and there may be nothing in the hut, but there may be a story to it, and you could do that. But Cyberpunk, it's just all buildings that you can't go inside, and if you can, there's nothing in them.
That sounds frustrating, because that's what an open world environment promises. Like GTA 5, you could pretty much walk into any building you see.
What Nas is saying in the chat is that's what they promised. Is that it was going to be open world, have all these people in it. The problem is that they tried to put it out on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and people are like, "Oh, I don't understand why you're not making it for these older systems." But if somebody said, "Hey, I put a new game out," and people are complaining that their 6-year-old or 8-year-old computer can't run it, people will be like, "Man, screw you! You're an idiot. Upgrade your computer." But the fact that people are still trying to have expectations that a high-end modern AAA game is supposed to run on an old system, they're nuts. But they tried to make it work, which is why it was crap, and it needed another year in development at least.
Maybe they saw what Rockstar did with GTA 5, where they released it like towards the very end of the 360 generation consoles, and then they figured, hey, we could go back and remaster it and make it look even better.
But they made it actually function on that system, whereas it didn't work at all on the
PS4.
On the PS4. I mean, if you were lucky, it did, but people had so much problems with it, and I mean, there were just like videos making fun of it, where the glitches and everything. But it was a good game. I enjoyed playing it. It's just for me, it didn't have any replayability. The other thing was it had great music. The radio stations were awesome. It's just you never got to drive your damn car far enough to listen to anything.
Really?
For real, you didn't. Like by the time you get like one song out of it, maybe, unless you're driving around in the desert, which didn't have that much to do out there. Which I think is where GTA 5 was stronger, is there was a whole map you could drive around.
There's still places where you like, now that I guess they've finished, but you can go there, but there's nothing there. Like there's like this wasteland of like a garbage dump, and there's like nothing. You think there's got to be something here unless there will be later, but there's nothing there.
You could find what's it? There's like a couple of like Easter eggs and stuff out there if you go around. Like if you play the Nomad, you can get your original vehicle back.
Oh, okay.
Which I did because I liked it. It's way better than most of the other stuff.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to wrap things up soon. Before we finish off here, go around the horn, I just want to show a couple of comics I picked up at the con, especially that Red Sonja cover, guys. You've been waiting for this, haven't you? Check this out.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Show it.
I'll leave it till the end. So these are I got a couple of old 70s Marvel. Look at that. Defenders. It's like 73 or 74.
Look
just
at
the
that,
style.
25 cents.
I know, remember that. Jesus. 25 cents. Defenders as well. Another one there. One called The Invaders. Again, it was another kind of superhero team back in the 70s. It was very popular. Around the same time, Tomb of Dracula was coming out. These were amazing. You ever get a chance to read these?
Oh, cool.
It's really good 70s Marvel comics. And then this is the last one. This is the one everyone's been waiting for. That's the cover.
And that's the model that you saw.
That's the model. There she is. Sorry about the glare, but there we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
No.
And it's signed? You got it signed?
Yeah, it's a signed one.
Nice.
Great, that's awesome.
And it's new. I didn't even know. I thought, it's just an old one that they've maybe done. It's a brand new issue. That's the art inside. It's not bad. It's pretty. I know. Shh, don't say that. My God, giving me away,
That's
man.
awesome.
Giving me away.
That looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty cool.
And this is a new run of Red Sonja?
It is, yeah. It's the current Dynamite are publishing it. It's issue 5, so it's pretty new. It's been going.
Oh, Dynamite. They're doing the new Conans too, right?
They keep relaunching it.
Yeah.
They were doing. They've not got Conan Copa. They've who's that? It's Titan, which is a UK. It's a UK publishing house. Have got it, but they've got Jim Zub going to be writing it. It's going to be going back to the Savage Sword style. Full on brutal.
Nice.
Bit of nudity, lots of violence, that kind of thing. So, guys, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
Before we finish, let's go around the horn and see what have you got coming up. Have you got anything to promote? We'll start with Zaxx. Zaxx, my Canadian streaming brother. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I want to promote that that Copa is married to a woman. Okay, that's already 2 thumbs up. But that she was the gaming supervisor at Best Buy. How do you not just walk around and high five people with that knowledge?
Oh, I do
all the time.
All the time.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I saw that before the comment. Yeah, there she is. Yeah. Fallout was huge back then.
It was massive. What was bigger was my love for the fact that I was dating at the time the gaming supervisor at Best Buy.
Yes, get in.
I was getting
So
old.
you got all the games a month.
Yeah,
early.
I got all those games, and then the sweet swag she would get from all these cons that she would have to go and set up booths at and stuff like that. Dude, it was a wonderful time in my life.
What a
All I did was
blessing that
kick
would
up my
be.
feet and be like, "Yo, what game are you bringing me home today?"
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. That's it.
It was totally cool.
I'll do a show this week. It'll be awesome.
Okay.
They always are, mate. You always get fantastic guests as well. I used to be able to get on, but I can't get on anymore. It's just,
Hey, you're welcome, whatever. But you're too busy.
I'm
with
joking.
I have to work.
Yeah, it's just crazy times. It's always daytime work time for me usually. During the
Every
week.
time I
But anyway,
see Gray in the chat, he's always like, "Hey guys, all right, I gotta go by. I gotta go back to work."
Hi, just saying hello.
Just
I'll work.
Yeah.
There goes the chime. The next lesson's starting. Shit, I've got to run. Okay, thanks, Zaxx. Shieldwall, anything? You going to be on anywhere?
Yes, tomorrow I'm going to be on Comics and Cosmetics.
Oh, nice. She's cool.
Vex Electronica, I think, and we're going to talk about stuff. So
Stuff.
yeah,
And things.
Things. Yeah.
This and that,
So yeah, that'll be tomorrow. I think it's 8 Eastern or something.
Nice one.
It'll be out there on the Twitters, I guess. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and then probably next Thursday, whatever Roman's got going on. So
Yeah. Again, I wish I could make some of those streams, but what can you do? It's been good to catch up, mate. It's been a while,
absolutely.
hasn't it?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, Blair to Blair, my favourite, as Roman says, his favourite internet wizard. What have you got, mate, or where are you going to be in the coming days or weeks?
Thursday, I'm in a Roman's show. We're going to revisit The Thing.
Oh my God, the original.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we're also doing.
Love
So
that
back
movie.
in October, we did the Who Goes There, the short story it was based on. Then The Thing from Another Planet, the 50s sci-fi movie, and then The Thing. So we're gonna cover that again, and we're gonna talk about the stuff we did the first time. The prequel movie called The Thing. We didn't talk much about.
Okay.
There's a video game sequel to The Thing that I think we might go on, but we're gonna go into all the things that we didn't go into before. So
I thought the prequel was actually okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was right.
It was good for what it was.
I think it treated I think they shouldn't have called it The Thing.
Exactly. That was the biggest problem with it, is the name of it. But yeah, they recreated that Norwegian camp perfectly from the movie, and yeah, it's really good.
I thought it was okay.
it got a lot of criticism, didn't it? Maybe because of the naming of it. Yeah, but I've heard
Yeah,
it's
it
better
did.
than you think. It's better than what you expect.
That's because
Cool.
I think most people thought it was a remake.
Yeah,
of
that's
the-
it. Shieldwall.
Yeah, and they were like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it was
I think they even kind of tried to promote it as a remake when it was.
Yeah, it
first
got
coming
really
out.
muddled, and people didn't understand what was going on.
Messed up the
so-
marketing there. Yeah, big time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I got going on. So.
Nosferatu saying The Thing on PS2 is one of the greatest movie adaptations ever. Wow. Haven't played it.
Yeah,
so-
I heard it was a
haven't played
good
it.
game.
Cool. Okay, first time on a Wakizashi stream. Copa,
you for
Catania.
having me.
Great to see you, mate. I'm really glad things worked out well for you guys. And yeah, thanks for jumping on, last minute as usual with me.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, thanks for dropping the link in the public chat for me to click on. It was wonderful for me to go up there and click it.
I'm glad you did, because I've seen you around. We kind of getting to know each other through streams mainly, and I've been wanting to do something like with everybody for a while.
Yeah,
so it's
anybody
great.
who has a Yojimbo in the bottom left corner of the screen is going to catch my attention like real quick.
Oh my god! Said the magic words.
Yeah.
Jana, I'm sorry. I'm borrowing your husband for a few weeks. He's coming over. You'll be all right, won't you?
Yeah, we're just going to shoot the shit and talk Akira and get drunk on sake.
I'll take you to the karaoke snack bars around the area. We'll have a good
nice.
time. We'll get in trouble, probably get arrested.
That sounds like my story. Yeah.
I can totally see it.
Shieldwall knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Roadhouse the game, yes.
you're not having fun unless you're having an international incident.
There you go, yeah. Wake up in the embassy like, holy shit, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Okay, this has been the best Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review ever. I really appreciate getting your takes on it.
I apologize for my hot takes, but yeah.
No, don't be silly. Zaxx's review was the best out of all of us, I think.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
My
I
favorite
didn't catch
part of
it, so I have to agree.
Very objective.
my
Yeah,
favorite part of the
very
movie
objective.
is where
That was
they
somebody
talked
else.
about Fallout for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I also like the part where he was talking about tracing dicks. So
Oh, yeah.
Back in his artiste days.
New nickname is not Dick Tracy, but Dick Tracer. Yeah, that was
Dick
a good
Tracer,
one.
yeah.
Nice one, guys. I saw that in the chat. So yeah, though these streams are always like this. It's to kind of start out of as a movie review, kind of. I do get a bit distracted, but I think most people on the rewatch, they only watch the first 20, 30 minutes, so they don't see any of this anyway. You know what I mean? when it turns into, which is a shame, they're missing out, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
they totally are. I'm glad you dropped the link around this time. Well, no one's going to watch this.
Just
This is the part when I want to show people, yeah.
This
just
part
use
is going to cut out.
that swimming instructor picture as your thumbnail.
What are we
That'll-
talking about? All right, so I came in the middle of that. What is that about? Someone just point me to the time.
It's just guys. I'm so sorry about this. I'm an idiot, an English teacher. Do you pronounce it GIF or GIF? GIF. It's a
GIF.
Yeah.
It's a GIF. I always thought it was GIF, but I've heard people say
Nobody says-
GIF. Put in when you're doing a GIF on Twitter, just put in Japanese woman or sexy Japanese, and it'll come up. There's a swimming instructor.
All right.
And
Oh,
speaking
well,
of,
I'm,
wait,
all
speaking
right,
of
so I'm
sexy,
going to have to
there we
mute
go.
my camera here.
Yeah, just going to turn the camera off. Before we finish, I've got to drop a clip. Speaking of sexy, it has to be. Where is she? Mantis.
I am Mantis.
What are you doing?
Smiling.
I can't remember the name of the actress. She's got a really interesting name. It's like, is it Pom?
It's Pom.
Pom or something? Yeah.
Ain't gonna be working here anymore.
Dropping an Office Space reference so late.
Oh, Jesus, it went over my head. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming on. Anyone who's still out there, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I think it was the Zaxx magic, the Zaxx pulling power that brought in the viewers. Because before Zaxx came on, I think I had 3 people watching, and it was me.
Well,
I was 2 of them.
No, Gray. Nobody knew you were streaming. I wanted to come
I didn't
on the
either.
show, and I didn't know you were streaming until I got a link from you saying, "Hey,
I always
if you want to
forget
jump on,
to
you can." It was
promote it. I
5
just
minutes
like-
Yeah,
before.
I didn't know that you were having a show, and I was
Yeah.
in Redfall, which That was
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, this game.
I thought everyone was on Courtney's because it's Courtney's birthday stream, which I wanted to jump on, but I was like, oh, it's the same time. I've not done a stream for a while. It's, you know, I'll jump on after mine, hopefully. So if she's still going, guys, you might want to pop over there.
Okay.
Okay, jump closer. So again, thanks so much. Hope to see you in a future video. This is Gray, Zaxx, Shieldwall, Copa, and Blair to Blair saying, Matane, good night. Now it's meditation time.